Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at Tru Heel Heat. Yeah!
What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching Tru Heel Heat podcast.
Rob Van Dam, listen to Tru Heel Heat. Pow.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with Tru Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
Well, it's Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for some Tru Heel Heat. And what a week it was. Last weekend was Memorial Day weekend, so it was a jam-packed week of pro wrestling with one of the best AEW pay-per-views of all time, AEW Double or Nothing. Hangman Page and Mercedes Moné are on their way to All In Texas after winning the Owen Hart Foundation tournament and the Owen Hart Cup. They're getting a shot at the two top titles, and they had a face-to-face meetings, one with her opponent at All In, and the other with his arch enemy and his former opponent. And can they come together to take down the Death Riders? We'll talk about Dynamite and Double or Nothing. On the WWE side, you had Saturday night's main event, which was half ads, but we did have Bronson Reed making his return and joining forces with Seth Rollins' crew. You had Cody Rhodes returning SmackDown. Last night had some Money in the Bank qualifying matches, as well as Cody and Jey Uso going face-to-face with Logan Paul and John Cena. Plus, we got the big news of the week, which is Mariah May leaving AEW and heading to WWE. And stop letting billionaires be broke boys. Take these billionaires for as much money as possible. Don't be going for dreams. It's the wrestling business. It's not the wrestling dream. What the hell is... Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for Tru Heel Heat 331 Great American All In Counter Programming Bash, discussing the latest wrestling news, including Mariah May officially done with All Elite Wrestling after the big free agency market. She's deciding to go to WWE. Yeah, WWE announcing the Great American Bash, going head to head with to counter program AEW All In Texas. Recap of this week in wrestling with AEW Double or Nothing, featuring Hangman Page and Mercedes Moné winning the men's and women's Owen Hart Foundation tournament. You had Dynamite featuring Timeless Tony Storm going face to face with Mercedes Moné and Will Ospreay, trying to bring Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland together. ROH TV, WWE Saturday Night's Main Event featuring Cody Rhodes' return. Last night's SmackDown featuring Cody and Jey Uso going face to face with Logan Paul and John Cena. You also had Raw on Netflix with Seth Rollins qualifying for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. NXT Battleground featuring Trick Williams winning the TNA World title. NXT featuring JC Jane shockingly winning the NXT Women's Championship. And of course, you had WWE Evolve, you had New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, and much, much more. But we got to get into all of that by introducing who we got with us today. First up, we got the Tru Draw himself. Josh, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. This is gonna be a great episode. I tell you that much.
It's always a great episode here on Saturday, and it's always a great episode when we got a special guest with us this week. You know this man as the face and the ace over at Dirt Sheet Radio, doing all the stuff they do on social media. They are becoming one of my favorite pages to follow across all social media, doing great podcasts. You've seen him on TMZ Sports. You saw him on 3NT interviewing Will Ospreay. The main man, Jon Escudero. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, especially after that intro. Goddamn.
Gotta go in big for you, man. Gotta go in big. How you been?
I've been good, brother. How's everything going on the Tru Heel Heat side?
Oh, we are always doing well. We are always busy, as you probably already know, but hey, we're here another Saturday. We're blessed in that.
I love it.
But how you been, Mr. Will Ospreay's best friend, Mr. Will Ospreay Super Saiyan?
I did get Will Ospreay to call himself a Super Saiyan. That was that was it. That was the peak of my entire career so far. And then he goes and loses. I'm like, fuck, that was my fault.
Damn it. Oh, I love it. That's hilarious. But yes, we got a lot to discuss today. We appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all for watching us on demand. Either way, show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. You could drop the thumbs up on this video. You could share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, you can sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys, hear your thoughts on this week in wrestling. And of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel and our flagship podcast, you can do so with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here. It goes a long way to help the channel move forward and grow. So we always appreciate the support. We got a couple of people already with us in the chat, like Eric Isaac, who says, hey, THH fam, just another wild and woolly week in the world of wrestling. And it's going to be an even wilder in the summer. Yeah. Never stops with counter programming and a whole bunch of wrestling events, it seems. So You know, we're going to talk about that today. We got Gray Carter, the second in the chat. Happy Saturday to you as well, sir. Good morning to Zach. We got O Nutty, who says he was on time for once. Good to see you. You're not on CPT time. We're always on it, but we appreciate you for being on time. We got I Make Beats, who says, hello, THH fam. Been on a break from this whole wrestling thing due to the workload, but hope y'all are doing good. Yes, you know, when I started making this my profession, I'm like, damn, I can never take a day off though. Like, that's the sad part.
Trapped. They don't know the sacrifice we do for them. You sit through that 3 hours SmackDown every fucking week with no way out.
And I'm 5 hours ahead, John. I'm in London. So like this is like, oh man. But I mean, it hasn't been that bad the last couple of weeks, and I've just been busy trolling people on social media with stuff and complimenting. I tend to find a way to, if I'm watching AEW Dynamite, I piss off all the pro WWE fans who think everything on Dynamite sucks. And then I'm last night I'm praising Naomi's promo, and I seem to piss off all the anti WWE people. So it's great. It's great.
You can never plug that hole. You can never plug that hole. Once you become public, anything you say is wrong to somebody. That's the fun part. That's actually freeing because that lets me say whatever the fuck I want. All right.
It really is, though. It really is. Once you piss off everybody from each side, it's like, y'all can never call me. I can never take y'all seriously if you think I'm a show for one or the other. I like things about both. You know, that's what being. And people don't understand that a lot of wrestling discourse is just people that disagree on something. It's just an opinion. We don't need to be calling people. I had someone call me an idiot. Someone called me a trained monkey today because of my Naomi take. I was like, come on. Jesus. I think I've blocked like 100 accounts this year. It's amazing. I love it.
So they called you that while you defend a black woman? What kind of shit is that?
Like they're walking a fine line.
And that's why I was like, I was giving him so much rope to hang himself. I was like, all right, you know, he said one thing and I was like, you know what? Just gonna reply with a gif. I was just like, that's a little weird. Then he said something else and I was like, that's really weird. And then he said something else. I was like, that's extremely weird. And then he said, oh, thank you, you trained monkey. And I was like, all right, that's enough. I put up the gif, get your life together, bye, and then blocked him. So I was like, all right, that was enough.
It's not that they in the IWC, baby.
It's such a good thing. It's just a good thing. Oh, we got Dion in the chat. What's up to you, good brother? We got Robert Brown, who's happy and glad. Mercedes Monet and Adam Page won. We also got Power Driver Finisher with us. He says, exactly, go for money. Like folks mad that chick Austin knocked over the barricade should be stealing her money. Absolutely. Like, I want all the money I spent.
There's no way they didn't give her something. They gave her tickets or something.
Man, you never know with WWE, man. You never know. Yo, TKO is wild with it.
You're right. You're right about that. You're right about that. Vince probably would have tossed us some lifetime tickets. TKO is like, we got a pamphlet for you in the front.
No, because apparently I heard. Because I heard apparently, I don't know if it's true or not. But apparently, they don't give out comps anymore. Like I was watching one of the podcasts for Fightful, and apparently telling us they don't even get tickets anymore.
They were hot because they're selling them shit.
Yeah, they got to buy tickets. It's like, damn. So you want to bring your whole family? You got to buy a ticket for all of them, and you're not gonna be on the show? Great.
They hit him with the "You're a millionaire, don't complain." I was like, damn. You know what? I don't know what to say about that.
well, Josh. I don't know if you guys been living under a rock, but WWE is hotter than it's ever been. This is what we do. I don't know if you've been aware. I don't know where you guys been, but
what was he said after Elimination Chamber? Are you guys feeling the road to WrestleMania now? I never felt it, Hunter.
He's such a condescending prick. I love it. He says talent moving around is great for wrestling. 1,000 1000%, I agree. I think that to before we get into everything, Mariah May made the right choice. She had a 2-year run, a great 2-year run where she goes in and has a career-defining program, one of the greatest women's matches in North American history, and goes out on top, basically the perfect ending to her run, and goes out looking up at the lights as well. So she did it the right way. Other than the free agency market, don't let these billionaires have broke boy energy. Don't take pay cuts. That's all I'm saying.
That's crazy. I guess the thing with people like her, though, I mean, we'll get into it. I was more gonna ask. I wonder, now that we're getting like a few years into people jumping to WWE from AEW, I wonder who's gonna be the first person to jump back. I keep looking at Andrade like, you idiot. You idiot. Could you?
He went back just to get divorced. That's crazy.
Yeah, no,
that's
idiot.
Crazy.
To make it easier on both of them, I can sign the papers and see you on Friday. You know what I'm saying?
And they got to be on the same brand because they put them on the brand because they were married. Oh man, that's horrible stuff. Krista in the chat, good to see you, Krista Star. This says, I do what I want. Hello guys, good to see you. We got Call Me Mr. Bonda back in the chat. Haven't seen you in a while, Mr. Bonda. Good to see you. He says, I'm back. Not that anyone cares. We do. He says, it's been a while since I've caught the live flagship. I was proven right that Joe Hendry is still a bum. I knew you would be back just to do that.
Yo,
just to do that.
Yeah, he was a glorified Joe Hendry hater, and at this point, I can't even blame him.
Understandable.
He's living his best life. He's like, I watch WrestleMania and I watch Battleground. This is the greatest promotion ever. Krista says, how dare you like pro wrestling that disagrees with me? Yes, that's how I feel. Most of my disagreements online is just people who like something that I don't like or that dislike something that I like. It's just, that's most of wrestling discourse nowadays. It's like the lowest common denominator, and it's always these faceless Twitter accounts that have like less than 200 followers. Like, it's just like these faceless Twitter accounts. They are the ones that say their whole opinion or want to criticize you or ridicule you for your opinion with their whole chest. It's hilarious.
Yo, and you know what's crazy too? A lot of them just have blinders on because, like, even when you make a point, right? They always tend to overlook it. And I'll give you an example where we were talking about the counter programming when they announced the thing. I said that the problem, I think somebody was like, oh, that people are upset, but WWE has always been honest. And I'm like, no, WWE hasn't been honest about it. Why? Because they've never taken AEW competition. Every time you see like the press, every time you see them talk about it, they fucking try to little bro every single time AEW, but their actions say otherwise. So I said they've never been honest about that when it comes to speaking about it. And somebody was like, oh, they are being honest. Look at the shows that they're booking, right? Counting program. I'm like, bro, you're proving my point. Like, like you're proving my point after what I just said. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing right now? Like,
it's gonna I think, like Dave Meltzer said this week, where it's ending up working against them now because they've turned themselves into a meme. And then you got the objective problem of comparing NXT to like an AEW pay-per-view. Like, as historic as Joe Hendry winning or losing the TNA title is on WWE television, it's going on while I'm watching fucking Anarchy in the Arena. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Oh, Joe Hendry lost. I don't give a fuck, bro. Why should I care? There's a big ass production happening right now with the highest quality matches possible, and I'm supposed to tune into the kids on NXT.
I was like, both shows were booked for my preference because I tried to live tweet both shows, and they put on the match I was least interested in, Tony. So thank you, Tony. Put on the match I was least interested in Hurt Syndicate versus Sons of Texas when NXT Battleground had Jordynne Grace and Stephanie Vaquer on. I was like, oh, you're so nice. That's so
He's
sweet
reverse
of you.
counter program.
Yeah. He was like, was like, you can go. Let's put over the lady. And I just watched that, and then I went right back to the show, and I caught the end of Hurt Syndicate in Sons of Texas, and then the rest of the show was good to great to all timer. Like, this is I appreciate how they booked both of those shows on Sunday.
And then also we saw Kenny Omega do it first. You go from Kenny Omega to Trick Williams. Like, is that really like a real comparison? I'm just saying, is that really a real comparison where everybody's getting excited? Like, oh my God, a WWE talent. Like, no, he's still in NXT. We don't even know when he's being called up, and now he ain't being called up anytime soon after winning that belt. You know, and it's one of those things where, you know, as much as I would like to enjoy the partnership, we all know where this partnership is going, and we've seen how it's been going. So it's like I can't even get excited about that.
I try to keep an open mind because TNA was like they had lost Scott D'Amore, and they were like the morale was down, and then the perception was down. So WWE coming in and doing that was definitely good for them. I mean, by somebody who's been watching wrestling for a long time, I'm always gonna look at it worrisome. Like, okay, that's not gonna end well. But I try not to shit on it too much because I know they're having fun with this shit, and I know I don't enjoy it, but I know the TNA fans ain't have shit before this anyway. Sorry, guys, you didn't. You just didn't. Sometimes I see Joe Hendry getting fucking jobbed out at WrestleMania, and it's like, yeah, that's good for Joe Hendry. Sucks for the TNA championship, but at the same time, what does it fucking matter? It's TNA.
Exactly. It's TNA. That's at the end of the day. That's why I always know it's like it's TNA gonna TNA.
You had your world champion. You had your world, right? Because you had your world champion show up at the Royal Rumble, lasted 6 minutes, throws out nobody. I show Speed eliminated more people than he did. Just so you know. Then he goes to WrestleMania, which is a great moment for him. Then he lost in a 3-minute squash match against Randy Orton to get RKO twice.
I just don't appreciate how they always put Joe out there to have to explain this. Like, there's nothing wrong with what happened for you. This is all good for you, Joe. You don't have to come up with an explanation excuse for TNA.
John Cena told me that I was good for this. I'm a company man. Yeah, you know why they're telling you this, right? You just took that job as the world champion. Everyone is looking at you like, look at this fucking good job, bro. I wouldn't have done that. Good job. Like, you did great. Like, come on. Again, I try not to shit on it too hard, but that some Joe Hendry coming out and trying to defend it like that is like, you're not defending it. You're just proving what I said. It's good for you. It's great for you. When you get signed by them, you'll have credit built up. Good job.
And they always know who did they push last year? Jordynne Grace, because they knew her contract was up at the end of the year, and they knew they was gonna snag her up. Whose contract is up this year? Joe Hendry. That's why he's the guy getting all these looks. That's why it's all good for Joe. It's just not as good for the company. That is what mainly most of the criticism that I've seen towards it is being directed.
And it's crazy because when I asked somebody, right, when this person was like, oh, is drawing more attention, is drawing more eyeballs to TNA, I asked him straight up, I'm like, so are you watching TNA every Thursday? Oh, no, I'm not watching. So what is your point then?
You'll get the answer from most people that tout TNA as the number 2 or whatever, but don't watch it. Don't watch the pay-per-views. Don't go to the shows. Don't help grow it in any way.
Yeah, I had some idiot on Instagram because I don't want to say his name because of what the trash shit he did on Twitter, where he says, TNA. He says TNA outdrew AEW, and remind you the next 2 nights later, AEW had over 8,000 people.
That's not somebody worth engaging with. It's just
no, I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing. I just saw it and somebody shared it, and then I had to tell that person, I'm like, you know, AEW drew 8,000 people, right? They took down they took down the story, sharing that video.
Of course, the people know what they're doing. To answer, I make beats. He says SB3. Which wrestler do you have beef with? Is it just Bully Ray? I have several wrestlers who block me on Twitter. There is the reigning WWE Women's United States Champion. That's why Go Julia Hope she dethrones your sensitive ass. Then there's also Wade Barrett, which I don't even know. I've said it multiple times. I think Wade Barrett's the best commentator in WWE, and he still's got me blocked. But hey, it is what it is. I'll let Wade go. The rated R superstar Edge. But that is kind of my fault, because I did criticize when he first got together with Judgment Day and they were supposed to be this dark stable, and he was doing hometown fucking heat, like, yo, you guys in Arkansas suck ass and all. I was like, you this is trash. And then I think he blocked me because of that. So, and then there's Bully Ray, who I said is the most insecure pro wrestler in the world, which I stand by every comment I say.
Oh, after LFG, no doubt about it. Like he just like cemented that.
He got his WWE check. He's happy.
Exactly.
Oh no, he's happy. I mean, he's happy in that sense, but you could tell he's a very sensitive man. Sensitive man.
He is very sensitive. I feel for Cresta. Cresta reviews TNA Impact every week over on the Fightful main channel. She says, "Oh brother, I am so mad at the Joe Hendry," and also agreed with NXT on at the same time. Ain't no one want to watch that while there's a soundtrack to ass whooping. LOL. You got bodies. I'm like vibing the bodies. What the hell do I care what's going on NXT? Absolutely,
bro. That took that match to another level. Like,
I don't know what part of the audience is leaving the AEW pay-per-view to watch NXT. Like, honestly, whoever, if you do that, that's good on you, but you deserve to go. Like, you go ahead. This is like, you're not actually hurting this pay-per-view with NXT content.
Yeah.
Maybe
After those
Goldberg retirement or whatever, maybe that. But like,
after those pay-per-view buys, AEW is fine. They're gonna be fine.
Yeah, they did more than Dynasty. They did just below Revolution. Like they were perfectly fine, and we're gonna get into Double or Nothing. Before we do that, we want to shout out all of you supporting us across social media and here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, as well as Patreon with our Tru Heel roll call. Our top 3 conversation starters over on our Tru Heels group page. We got the Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting, Joe Bellini and Stewie Palmer. That's our Tru Heel Trinity, and our Patreon backers. Patreon backers, we got Valub, Alan Weinstein, Negro Buck, Nick Jackson, Professor Chris, Trey, Robert, Steve, Ladarius, John, aka Russell Scopes, John Martin, Dolores, James, Alan Santo, I Make Beats, and Justin Ridge. Thank you so much for supporting us over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content and the best way to support us when we are not live here. But let's get into what we miss, and let's talk about one of the best AEW pay-per-views, probably of all time, probably a top 5, top 10 AEW pay-per-view of all time. Last Sunday's AEW Double or Nothing from Glendale, Arizona, which was highlighted and headlined by Hangman Adam Page defeating Will Ospreay in an absolutely incredible main event to the show that is among the best matches of the year. Spoiler alert, it is my match of the year so far this year. To win the Owen Hart Foundation men's tournament. Absolute stunning performance by both men that really highlight the night. And of course, with this victory, Hangman Adam Page gets his shot at Jon Moxley's AEW world title at All In Texas on July 12th. Mercedes Moné on the other side of the Owen Hart Cup. She beat Jamie Hayter in an excellent opener to the event to win the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament Finals, and she gets her shot at the AEW Women's World Championship coming up at All In Texas on July 12th herself. These two women had great chemistry with one another for a first time meeting here. And then you also had some matches that really exceeded expectations, like Kazuchika Okada defeating Speedball Mike Bailey in a tremendous bout to retain the AEW Continental Championship. A lot of people calling this one of Okada's best matches in AEW so far. Timeless Toni Storm beat Mina Shirakawa in a great match to retain the AEW Women's World Championship, as she will move on to face Mercedes Moné on July 12th at AEW All In Texas. And then she also did a whole smooch with Mina Shirakawa. Look at it. Take it in, drink it in. Yeah, and you had Mark Briscoe once again proving that he can have a great match on any AEW pay-per-view, as he was defeated by Ricochet, who picked up his first win on an AEW pay-per-view in a terrific and bloody stretcher match. Ricochet smile in this picture. It always marks me out. It always pops me every single time. FTR defeated Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness in a very good tag team bout as well. Speaking of the tag team division, the Hurt Syndicate retained the AEW World Tag Team Championships against the Sons of Texas with a little assist from MJF. The Don Callis family picked up a win over the Paragon in a good trios matchup. Post-match, the Callis fam jumped Paragon until Brody King, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hiroshi Tanahashi made the save. And then finally, like we said before, the aforementioned Anarchy in the Arena. Swerve Strickland, Willow Nightingale, the Ops, Kenny Omega defeated the Death Riders and the Young Bucks in an absolute batshit insane and amazing Anarchy in the Arena match that featured bodies by Drowning Pool, one of the greatest in-arena live experiences that many people have said they've ever experienced in their lives. A forklift with Swerve jumping off of it with a Swerve stomp. We had an exploding table off the One Ring Angel off the stage, and thumbtack sneakers leading to the Swerve stomp finish as the babyfaces picked up the victory here. What a show, what a pay-per-view, what a match that was, what a match the main event was. 2 matches of the year, 2 5-star classics. I gave it 5 stars and Dave gave it 5 stars. That's how you know it's certified 5 stars now if me and Dave agree on something. John, what did you think? Overall thoughts on AEW Double or Nothing, and where to you, as someone that I know has watched pretty much the whole history of AEW, where do you think it ranks all time in their pay-per-view events?
It's kind of crazy how many times you watch an AEW pay-per-view and then come out the other side saying, that might have been the best one they've ever done. This happens very regularly, several times a year. And we're here again. But it's like, this is one of the best pay-per-views they've ever done. And I was at Revolution, which I also thought was one of the best pay-per-views they've done, except for the main event, which is why I put this one over Revolution, because they landed the main event after a big high spot match, which is Anarchy in the Arena. This show was just top notch. I don't know, somehow over delivered, which is crazy because I have higher standards for the AEW shows. Like, I expect more of you, son. And they delivered all the way through. I know Hangman and Ospreay were gonna have a great match, but Anarchy in the Arena was so fucking impactful that I was just worried. I was concerned for them, and they go and they blow that shit out the water, possibly. And for my taste, maybe even better than the Anarchy in the Arena match, maybe the match of the year. I have to go back and rewatch a couple things because this is it's too much. We're only in May. Nuts. But yeah, I loved it. 5 stars almost all the way through. On an average, it's got to be a 4.5.
Yeah, because they had so many. I was looking at Dave's rating. He had so many matches at 4.5. I know my average was a 1 1/4, 4 1/4 at the very least for most of the matches on this card. We also got joining us today our third co-host of the show, the princess of all the Tru Heels. She's, I guess, been on waiting her jury, her verdict of her case last week. Miss Krissy Luv, how are you doing?
Hi guys, good morning. Sorry for my tardiness, but what's happening? Good evening. Hi John, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm okay. I really don't give a shit about your verdict. It don't really fucking matter, but whatever.
I was just joking.
Oh, okay.
Krissy,
So whatever.
what did you think about AEW Double or Nothing last Sunday?
I better than them promoting it, basically. it exceeded over exceeded, I guess, because this is their their 6th one, right?
7th one.
7th one. Okay, so 7 years of this. Amazing. I mean, I did not expect them to blow it out the park like this. I mean, I knew we were gonna be late, but I knew it was gonna be great. I mean, every match was solid. Like this, like you said, is a contender for pay-per-view of the year.
I think it is the pay-per-view of the year. I don't think.
I mean, so far, I mean,
this is the benchmark.
So far,
the only one that I think is on this, the only 2 shows that I would say it's on this level from like the major promotions would probably be like New Japan and AEW's Wrestle Dynasty in the Tokyo Dome in January, and New Beginning from New Japan Pro Wrestling. If I had to throw a WWE event in there, I would say probably Elimination Chamber is probably their best show of the year so far.
That's fair. But yeah,
I think that this kind of laps all of them.
this laps out. I feel bad for NXT because I didn't even watch it, didn't even really give a damn about it. Yeah. And then shame on Amazon for making you buy it, and then you can only stream it through one TV. Fuck you.
Oh, that sucks.
That sucks. Yeah, sucks.
Damn. Terrible. Where's Triller TV at? I don't like this. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, it went up on Triller, I think, like a couple of days after, which is hilarious.
I'm so scared for Triller. Like, they're so cooked. They're not making this
whatever it linked Romeo sent me didn't work. So I was like, all right, I have to just get it. And Amazon was like the only like outlet that I can get it on, and you can only stream it like one TV. So like my son had to like come and watch it with me in my room. And usually we could watch it in multiple locations. And
you just got to private message me. I got you.
Okay.
Never
mind.
Just send an email. Send an angry email to Bezos. He'll probably read it.
Triller and the VPN. That's my favorite AEW combo right there.
Yes. Yep, then they give you like the little combo. You could buy like 3 of them. They give you a little discount. That's what I like. Who told them to mess this up? If it's not broke, don't fix it. That's just terrible.
No, I think it's a Triller. It's a Triller issue. It's not an AEW issue.
I think they could.
Triller's just dumb. Or just come on. Can we just hurry up and get it on Max by now? Like,
I'm hoping for All In they can get it on.
And I'm loving how Max you can stream the NBA playoffs. I can watch AEW. This is just beautiful. Like I don't need all these things. Like this is just make it just very easy and effortless. I don't need all this other mess.
Josh, it's been a week. What's kind of your after a week thinking about it? What's your overall thoughts on Double or Nothing, and where do you think it ranks all time for AEW pay-per-views?
It's definitely. I think it's so far. It's definitely the pay-per-view of the year. We had a great main event. Great Anarchy in the Arena match. It's a lot of honestly, there was not really a bad match. Even the matches that you could question, maybe at most is the both tag team matches. There's like, should it have been here? I mean, to be honest, I'm like, I don't mind it too much because you do kind of need those breather matches. I'm kind of glad I did get that because even after that Anarchy in the Arena, I was like, oh shit, are we getting like the main event next? And then when Sid told me about the other match, I was like, I forgot about that. So I kind of felt better because I was like, at least I could like relax because man, that shit alone was nuts. Yo, like everything they were doing, I was like, yo, what is going on right now? Like, especially Kenny Omega. I was like, bro, you you barely got a stomach and you doing crazy shit right now. Like, what are you doing?
It happens. As far as like where I would say it ranks, because I've watched and I've been to a few AEW pay-per-views. So I don't have. I wish I was at Double or Nothing because I think I would have a better perspective. Because I think that All in London for me personally, I would put that slightly above this one. Only because I was there live and I got to sit behind the Danielson family. That experience will never be kind of taken away from me. And that main event, I would say, is a notch higher for me than the Hangman and Ospreay. Even though Hangman and Ospreay is my match of the year, this is the pay-per-view of the year. But that was the last time that I had the euphoric feeling of a great AEW pay-per-view was All In last year. So I would say All In London. Revolution 2024 with Sting's retirement and Ospreay and Takeshita. All Out 2021, and I can't even say Full Gear. Full Gear 2021 is probably the most comparable to this one, where it was just like banger after banger after banger. You had one or two match of the year candidates on that one as well, with Hangman and Omega. You had, I think, another 5-star match. I think they had it was Jurassic Express and Christian versus the Cole and the Bucks. You had the Darby and MJF, which is still one of the best openers to an AEW pay-per-view, and the Kingston and Punk on that show as well. So that would be in that upper echelon, but this is definitely in that upper echelon with those shows. Revolution 2022, Revolution 2023. Those are like, this is in like the top 7, top 8 AEW pay-per-views of all time to me.
I think sometimes with the AEW pay-per-views, the ring quality and match quality is so good that you almost have to add in other factors. Like I can name multiple AEW pay-per-views where pretty much every single match was like 4 stars or above, but shows like All In last year or All Out 2021, they have those special moments that kind of put them above everything else. Like I don't know if I'm ever gonna feel like, I don't know, maybe if Hangman wins that world title this year, I might get that back. But the feeling I had when Bryan Danielson won that world championship, I wasn't even in the building, bro. I was home. I was screaming.
Yo, I told everybody that was like a religious experience. Being third row for that, like that's like that's my GOAT right there. And seeing that up close, being behind his kids with freaking Birdie and Buddy, like, yeah, let's go, Dad. Let's go. Seeing Birdie cry while Swerve stomps her dad's head in. Oh my God, that's like that experience. I told everybody that's the greatest event that I've ever been to live.
Yeah, and honestly, man, I mean, the match itself, I mean, that shit was emotional as fuck. Because while you were watching it, right, you're watching a great match, but then at the same time, you're like, oh shit, like we might not see Bryan Danielson again. So it's kind of like you go through the motions, knowing that, like, it's like, damn, this man is one of the arguably, you know, for some people, best in the world. And it's like, fuck, like, is this going to be the last time we see him? And, you know, him winning was worth it, regardless of how short his reign was, because it was never going to be a long reign. The moment was worth it, in my opinion.
All that being said, though, I do think this year's this Double or Nothing, because like I just said, those moments, this Double or Nothing is going to stand up above all those just because it's fucking anarchy in the arena. Like this particular one was just like, this is everything you want from AEW. This felt like AEW's back. Like that was like, we are really back. Like this is it. Like, special. This was all timer for sure.
Yeah, that was the best anarchy in the arena. I love the first one, and I think the first one has the best moment that's ever happened in the anarchy in the arena. With
it was in a football field, right?
No. I'm talking about the first one, Anarchy in the Arena. You think it's Stadium Stampede?
Oh, 2022.
Yeah,
I was at that one. That was great. With
the Puerto Rican Combat Club versus the Jericho Appreciation Society. And Kingston coming out like a zombie, all bloody, with the gasoline. That's the greatest moment in the Anarchy in the Arena ever. But vibes wise and just all the nutty shit that they did in this matchup, Swerve getting stapled in the tongue, Willow getting basically chained to the ring post by her ear piercing, the forklift Swerve stomp, the Swerve stomp with the tag
crackers.
Oh my God. Powerhouse Hobbs being immune to staples, Swerve being Popeye with spinach when it comes to staples. Like this one was just the big black and Jack moment with Willow and Hobbs, the TK driver with Swerve and Willow. Like this has moment upon moment, and then Bodies hitting. Bodies is maybe the best soundtrack to an Anarchy in the Arena ever. Like that was just perfect. And Swerve doing the Flossberry flop right on cue with the yo. I was like, after I watched that matchup, I was like, yeah, 5 stars. Like I can't.
And then even the spot that I like too. The spot that I liked is when Kenny bounced off the ropes. When the Bucks did that move and he bounced off the ropes and then they caught him and then threw him to the table. Yo. And then fucking Matt is high-fiving the fans. That fucking loved it.
That flaming tip, that exploding table spot just blew my mind. I just never saw it coming. I was like, he's already doing a one-winged angel off the stage and through a table. It was like more than enough for me to get the pop for me. That explosion just which was the biggest fucking surprise I've had in months. It was like, what the fuck? That's incredible.
The whole time when Briscoe does the flip off the stage and they're fighting over there, I'm like, why isn't anyone going through that table? And then at the end, I'm like, oh, that's why they didn't go through that table. They were saving it. They were saving it. Oh, man, it's an all-timer. Yeah, this is the only other show that I forgot to mention. Thank you, Thapello. Yeah, Stardom's All-Star Grand Queendom. I think that's the only other show that I gave 9.5 to.
The main event
on that level.
The main event of that show is the only one keeping me from cementing Hangman and Ospreay as match of the year. Because Saya Kamitani
that's in my 4.
Was like, damn, son.
Yeah. My top 4 matches this year is in order for me so far is Ospreay and Hangman. It's Kenny and Gabe Kidd at Wrestle Dynasty, because that just gave me all the feelings, all the emotion, and that's a star-making performance for Gabe. Hollywood ending with Storm and Mariah.
Oh yeah, that was good.
We're gonna have to get into that, and then Saya Kamitani and Tam Nakano. It's because that one is the post match that like is like the cherry on top.
Oh my
Tam
God.
going into the feathers and then fade to black. Oh my God, that's cinema. That is I never use that term. That is real cinema.
That's real. That's exactly what I was gonna say. That's real cinema. That makes you feel something. We're never gonna see her again. Like that light went out, and we're just never gonna see her again. Okay, you haven't felt that yet. Talk to me about cinema.
Absolutely. Bunch of praise in the chat here. Yes, I agree with Myron. Yeah, 2021, that's like a peak year because all their pay-per-views delivers. But I would say this is the best Double or Nothing they ever had. I think before this, it would probably be a tie between 2021 in Daly's place and then the original Double or Nothing in Las Vegas, because Cody and Dustin and then the whole feeling, that's the only thing like comparable to All In 2018 is that first Double or Nothing event in 2019. But I think this one it surpasses both of those.
I think if AEW can keep this momentum, like this year they've been just firing on all cylinders. If we could keep this all the way to December, I think we might really have something comparable to their 2021, something even better. Even
I agree. They're on a heater right now. They just have to stick the landing, please, and change this title at All It Takes. Like, they don't understand. I think people don't understand. People want to joke around and be like, "Oh, it ends with a bulldog choke in Texas" and all this other stuff. They can't fumble this right now. They have so much momentum. Tony is killing it week to week. He's killing it with the storytelling, and he's just focused on his game. He's focused on his race right now instead of answering or trying to play the WWE game. You gotta stick the landing. You can't risk it. I don't care about all your metrics about Jon Moxley. Oh, the business is up with Moxley as champion. Bump all that. It has to be Hangman. It has to be Hangman.
We're sick of John, and it's been too long.
It's one of those things where I think All In is the perfect place for it to end. If it ends there, then I will never agree with everybody who had a full issue with the Death Riders. If it goes past All In, now we've actually reached a place where we took it too far. It's too long. It doesn't feel like an ending is coming. But before that, like up until now, they're a heel group. They are running roughshod. Baby faces are falling down in front of them. It feels bad, but that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to feel. I want them to lose. I hate you. And like Tony said, it's not like channel changing heat because people aren't changing the channel. They're just mad that Jon Moxley's winning. So it's like, if we end this at All In, that perfect ending, the fucking main event of AEW is going to save that beautiful gold championship from Jon Moxley. That will be the perfect ending to the biggest show of the year. If you fuck that, you tripped and you fell on your face.
Yeah, we haven't seen that belt in months. We haven't seen that belt in months.
It's been 9 months
now. 9 months. Damn.
Since October.
Jesus.
Yeah. It needs to end. I do. I appreciate his gangster. Because I tried to bully him for months. I tried to bully him at Revolution. I tried to bully him at Dynasty, but he held on tight. And now there is like fan interest and perception is up. And a lot of that is on the fact that they want somebody to be the one to be the hero and take it from him. So it's working out for him. If he sticks the landing at All In, I will say maybe this is worth it. I know Jimmy Macaram told me on AE Ramble, me even broaching that conversation, he was like, I sound like I have Stockholm syndrome where I'm praising my abuser, but I don't care. It might be worth it. If All In Texas, if they sell out, if they get like 30,000 people in that building and Hangman wins it there, then it might have been worth it.
Yeah.
Might have been.
Then also, if you really think about it, I think that was kind of the point that was trying to be made, right? They want a real top babyface to go after the heel champion. So I mean, looking back at it, I think now it's easier said to say it. About like, hey, maybe all that was worth it, right? Like Death Riders being on top, winning, maybe all that is worth it. You know, so I think that's why it's looked at it with a different lens now, which I'm kind of glad, because I mean, you know, like the criticism with Death Riders, I mean, it's valid criticism, but now we're at a place where the criticism, if you're still complaining about Death Riders, is kind of just like, it kind of falls on deaf ears, in my opinion, because it's just like, we're getting Hangman in the main event for the biggest show of the year for them. Like, can we just like enjoy that at least? And if whatever it goes from there, it goes from there, right? With the Death Riders, like, who cares? If Jon Moxley loses, that's what people want to see.
That's another thing about Hangman. I didn't even know I love Hangman. This might be one of my favorite wrestlers in the world. But I didn't. I thought this was Ospreay's night, like for sure.
Me
like,
too.
This is the one. Like there's no way. Like how long are we gonna wait?
Me too, but I'm not mad at it. Yeah.
Well, no,
like,
I'm definitely not mad. Like it's like you've given me a gift I wasn't prepared for. Like, oh shit! I didn't know we're here now. We're doing this now. Oh shit! And no, I was just gonna say the Ospreay thing. I think on the night that he lost, I was kind of feeling weird about it. I was like, damn, I don't know if I like what are we doing from here? But I don't know. I feel like if these two losses, if we do something with them, that third one, that third opportunity at the World Championship, when he finally does win the World Championship, it's gonna feel earned. It's gonna feel like we fought to get here, rather than even sometimes it kind of feels like if he had won the world title against Swerve, he would have just waltzed right into AEW and took it. And if he had come now to save AEW, it would still feel like the rest of the roster failed and the new guy had to come and save us. So I kind of appreciate that it was one of the OGs that had to come and save the company and put it back on his back, especially Hangman, considering everything that he's been through, not just character-wise, because obviously the character's been through the ringer. They love to do that to him, but like real life, that post CM Punk loss, there's nobody that's not going to convince me that his fall from the top of the card after that wasn't spiteful. Like nobody is going to convince me otherwise. Like coming back from that political little bullshit he had to deal with and just rebuilding himself, it mirrors the story that they're telling on TV. And seeing all that come back together at the end of All In is going to feel real fucking good. So I've changed. Like that night, I thought maybe Ospreay should do it, but after a week of thinking about it, like this is the move. I'm ready for it to happen.
It only took me like a few minutes where I was just like, yo, they really had him won. And I said it to these guys in the chat. I was like, I've never been so happy to be wrong about a prediction. I'm usually so into being right on these predictions, but I've never been so happy where I was just like, nah, this actually makes more sense. And I tried to talk myself into believing this was Ospreay's time, that just do it, just put it on Ospreay's bag. He can be the leader, and he can 100%. Absolutely. I've always said it needs to happen in Wembley Stadium. If it doesn't happen in Wembley Stadium, then you're not getting Ospreay at like the peak of his powers. Peak of his powers. It needs to be next year at Wembley Stadium. He wins the Owen Cup next year, goes on to Wembley Stadium and wins it there. That's the time to do it with Ospreay. Hangman, this was the redemption arc. It's really, for me, especially with the win at Double or Nothing, it's become the best story in AEW. In the lead up to Double or Nothing, I was swearing up and down that the best story was MJF and the Hurt Syndicate. And it's still in the top 2, top 3 for me still. But Hangman's redemption arc is the story right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy because that will put him at like number 1 and 2. Because the Hangman's first redemption from when he was an alcoholic, that was one of the AEW story they've done. Hangman Page's whole character arc, Hangman Page and to a certain extent Orange Cassidy, who we haven't seen in a long time, and I actually miss him. I think he's injured, right?
Yeah, torn bicep, I think.
Yeah, I think wrestling character. I know whatever it is. I know he was putting the company on his back when they needed him the most. So take that rest, and I'll be happy to see him when he's back. But his character arc and Hangman's character arc in pro wrestling, you don't get things like that. Just one consistent character. And I guess MJF too. That's the thing about AEW. I guess like this fucking company has multiple wrestlers with years long character arcs that actually arc and change the character, and they carry it with them. If you go back and watch AEW in 2021, that Hangman is not this Hangman. It's like a fucking anime. The goddamn.
I'll throw another one in there. I'm sorry, it just hit me. Tony Storm.
Tony Storm. Jesus, absolutely, 100%. And I don't know if that's because of the collaboration on creative. Because sometimes it's a little inconsistent. Because some people will never see that kind of booking. Like some people would just get booked like regular TV wrestlers. And then other characters just have, I swear it's from their own input. I think some of that has to do with their own input. Like Hangman Page's story feels so personal to him. It feels so unique to him. That doesn't feel like it came from the same machine that some of these other stories come from. And I guess the same could go for MJF. Well, I feel like as much as Tony Khan is fully in charge and everything comes through him, some of that collaborative effort has to be what's showing on this TV. It's fucking special. That's why I can't ever take these people serious when they're like AEW has no stories. I'm like, they've told some of the best stories I've ever seen in pro wrestling across years. Fuck you.
Oh, we got Valov in the chat, who's been a member for 23 months, nearly 2 years. Good to see you, Valov, in the chat. He says, if Kenny was the one who brought me back in love with wrestling, Hangman is the one keeping me here. I need him to win. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes.
I like that.
Yes, I agree. He's the main character of All Elite Wrestling. He's been since the beginning. He was the original homegrown star. It needs to be him at All In Texas. It needs to be. We can't play around. We can't wait for Darby. We got to stop playing these games. Stop playing around. And this is the big decision as well. And I said this on the review, and I'll say it here. It's Tony Khan pivoting. Because he had the whole idea of doing Swerve and Hangman versus the Bucks at All In. So he pivoted to Hangman getting the win here. So I have to praise him on this episode because all I've been asking for months is please pivot. And he finally did it. So I'm happy.
It's kind of crazy that we pivoted because it's like this All In Texas. It's All In Texas. They had a belt buckle for the logo. You didn't have an idea that the Hangman, the cowboy, should be in the main event at All In Texas? You needed to get pushed to that? Listen, I'm happy we're here.
Yeah, it was foreshadowed. We didn't even really look at it.
I definitely didn't. I didn't think twice. It made so much sense afterwards now in hindsight. But
in hindsight now, yes. But
I don't know. Like, I get this idea that he might have pivoted because it does feel like they just swapped Ospreay and Hangman. Like, we're gonna do Ospreay and Swerve versus the Bucks instead of Hangman.
No. I think I did the predictions that Wednesday before Dynamite, and I was given a feature article by Wrestle Talk, and it was like the 8 match. It was like it was like X matches to add at All In, and I thought my brain out, and I was like, Swerve and Ospreay versus the Young Bucks. I get the same feeling that people got when they said Swerve and Hangman versus the Young Bucks. It felt like, I don't know if these two should be pairing up. I don't know if these two should be facing the Young Bucks. It's probably better if you did those two against each other. And I was like, Eureka. Yes, it should be Ospreay versus Swerve. It should be Ospreay versus Swerve.
I think with All In, because last year I got caught up with my predictions too. Because it's not that I forgot about All Out. It's that I didn't consider how they would book All In into All Out. And I didn't think it would be All In into All Out because All In is the bigger show. So I thinking that they might still do Swerve and Ospreay versus the Bucks at the pay-per-view, only because I don't know One, I don't know what else they would do because you got All Out and All In, which is not 2 weeks after each other anymore. I guess it's a month, but I still kind of got this feeling that they were going to do the tag at All In and then the singles at All Out. But
All Out's not till after Forbidden Door.
Oh, is there another pay-per-view in between?
Yeah, Forbidden
Ospreay,
Door is in August.
Ospreay is going to be doing something big there for sure. I don't know if it's a world title match, too. People think they're going to do Ospreay Hangman, or I'm like,
nah. I think it's too soon. Too soon after. Yeah, too soon after this first matchup to do that. And Ospreay's already put out there he would like to get a shot at like the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, which I wouldn't mind that. But I think it's too soon.
Would go crazy though. It
would. And this is a caveat that, I don't think we need to mention right now. We got to think about it further into the summer, but it is a good point from Chase. He says AEW's on a heater with the pay-per-views and their weekly TV. Chase, don't neglect them. But Tony has shown to struggle once NFL season starts, and his dad said this year he wants big results. And Krissy and Josh knows. I said this last year, and then I went over how it's been happening since 2022. In 2022, you had the excuse of All Out. 2023, you had the excuse of CM Punk getting fired. Last year, there was no excuse for that. It was just Tony was more focused on all his other jobs, and it was hard for him to juggle everything. But there was a steep drop off after All Out into Wrestle Dream. The build wasn't good. The pay-per-view delivered, but after that, then it was a steep drop off across the pay-per-views and the TV for AEW. I just want him to be consistent. I know Shad Khan probably wants good results on Jacksonville Jaguars, but let's keep Tony in the weeds over here because he's doing well.
Let's quit. What do we need? What do we need Tony Khan for? Like at this point, let's be real. You need him over there. Like, what does he do? Numbers? You could fucking hire any math guy for this. Get him focused on his own shit. What are we doing right now? Why are we juggling?
Because I remember. I think his title was finances or something like that. Like he was part of that.
Analytics. It's some type of analytical job. I forget what the title is, but it's numbers, bro. He's not even like. Come on, man, get the fuck out of there. What are you doing?
I love it. Quit your job. You sound like Ospreay in that interview you did. Quit your job, AJ.
Quit your job, TK. What are you doing?
Yeah, because it's a big year for them. I mean, they got their top draft pick, Travis Hunter, new coach, new GM. So they basically like. Their off season was pretty busy. So let's see. I mean, when it comes to that, let's see what happens, how he's gonna balance that out. Because I mean it's tough. I mean, if he gets Pop Driver again, at least he could sell it on NFL TV. So
I don't know if
needs
that
to be a yearly thing.
I don't know if that did wonders for his perception amongst NFL people.
It didn't do much for his perception to NFL people or to wrestling people. But we do have a super chat donation here from Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says, do you guys think Mercedes has to win at, I guess he means All In Texas? And if she were not to win, would it hurt her character positioning in AEW? I don't think it would hurt her character perception in AEW. I think the key to like a great AEW pay-per-view to me is having more than one matchup that feels unpredictable on who's going to win. I think the main reason that what made Anarchy in the Arena and Hangman and Ospreay such match of the year candidates and such great matches is I don't think that you could get the same answer from 10 people on either of those matches. There was a lot of people that were like, oh, the Death Riders are just going to win again. And there was a lot of people that said the babyfaces are going to win Anarchy in the Arena. There was a lot of people that thought it was time for Ospreay to win. And then there was the loyal AEW fans that were like, Hangman's going to win. And I think the key for All In Texas is that feeling that Moxley is going to retain to continue the story, and Darby's going to be the one to dethrone him. But then there's the fans that are fans of Hangman and want to see the completion of his redemption arc that wants him to win. And then with the ladies, it's the fact that you can have your biggest woman star, the GOAT, the greatest women's champion of all time, be the one to finally beat the undefeated Mercedes Moné, or you can have Mercedes reach the mountaintop and win the one title that she hasn't won in AEW. I think that can go either way. So I don't think it hurts her character positioning at all. But as of right now, I think Mercedes is going to win at all.
I was going to say, I think she might be winning too. Like, I think she got that in the contract. I think she had that in the bag. Like, yeah,
she's done because Mercedes has done so much now with AEW that it's not going to really hurt her. Because I think she's going to be a top performer no matter what you do.
I think it actually would help if she lost. I think it would help more than hurt her. Honestly, there's just this perception about her that I don't know how much is true. And honestly, at this point, she's gone almost entirely undefeated since she left WWE, except for the one time when she hurt herself and called the audible.
Yeah, which wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah,
right.
So I do.
Freak accident.
I know. There's like people get on there. Oh, Mercedes has creative control thing. I think it's more like Mercedes costs a lot of money. Like we should probably treat her as good as we can.
But the thing is too is that when she said that, because I mentioned it on the review, where when she was talking about that, she was talking about her character. She had input of her character, not wins and losses, because that would be fucking ridiculous.
It's the fan base, you know. Yeah. Pro wrestling fan base IQ on average is like 3.
It's the fan base.
Explain things, double explain them.
Yeah, it's not only that, but it's also the fact of a lot of people just don't like Mercedes. And when you ask people, hey, why don't you like Mercedes?
Racism.
To be honest, it's just a very fucking stupid reason why they don't like her. At least to me, it's just like, what does she do that bothers you, right? Because I remember the perception with her, even when it came to WWE. Even like when it came to like the airports and stuff, right? People criticized her for that, like, oh, you know, why she doesn't stop her fans. And guess what? She was fucking right the whole time, because a lot of these fans are fucking weird. So even if you started that rumor, like, I know who did. I know who did. But it's just the fact that now, I mean, she's been right about that, and it's like, you know. Obviously, there's times where it's like, yeah, you could give her criticism for certain things, but I don't think it's as deep as people try to make it. Like, again, when I was at Forbidden Door last year, there was a guy that was like in 2 rows in front of me. He starts complaining, like, oh, why she's calling herself the greatest of all time. This dude was legit mad about that. And I said out loud with Wendy right next to me, I said, this motherfucker is mad about that shit, and then he stopped talking for the rest of the night.
I think people. Well, I'm not scared to say it. I think there's a lot of ingrained subconscious racism in the Mercedes Moné criticism. They don't like
racism. I think there's women. I think, and it was also because she's a woman too.
Yeah,
it's misogyny. It's misogyny and racism combined, which is like the superpower of ignorant people.
If it was someone a different color, they wouldn't be having this issue. I promise you.
The Captain Planet of hatred. Just bring it all together. I think there's some ways that they describe their problems with it that really give it away, especially when they use the word arrogant. I was like, oh, you're a racist. I feel it from your, but I can smell it on your nasty racist breath. I love Mercedes. I think if she wins at All In, though, we have piled her with every single belt that we can. And it's kind of a crazy thing perception wise. Like, she got the mid card title, she got the world title, she got a title from fucking Europe. She dropped the New Japan belt at least. If she drops the TBS championship sometime between now and July in some triple threat or some shit, then I think it's a guarantee she's winning that world title at All Out. But if she doesn't, and I think for me it keeps an element of maybe they won't put all of their eggs in the basket just quite yet.
Just yet.
We'll see.
She's only been there a year and a half now, almost 2 years.
No, it's been over a year.
Over a year. Okay.
Yeah. We got another super chat donation here from Valop, who says, if Mercedes wins, I want her to unify the belts and bring in tag belts for women. I disagree with, I know this has been the big popular thing for AEW fans. Oh, let's get AEW women's tag team titles. No, we have two legit women's championships and it's helped put over so many different women, for better or worse. Jade Cargill being the first champion, it put her on a different level of everybody else with her undefeated streak. Then Chris Statlander winning it felt like the first big time that they actually gave Chris Statlander a push. Julia Hart, it was like a reward for her coming up with a different character and a different persona that helped her elevate to that position. Willow Nightingale held it for a month, but that still feels like the biggest push she got in AEW. And Mercedes Moné has gone undefeated with the title and put on numerous of the best women's matches in company history with the title. Let's just worry about that and the world title. Why are we trying to create tag team titles when we don't have the roster to do that?
Not only that, but those are network belts. So those belts are not going are going away anytime soon. The TBS and TV titles, they're not going away anytime soon because those were network driven. So yeah, we're just gonna have to deal with it.
They've been calling me a misogynist on the Dershi Radio podcasts because I refuse to accept these tag team championships. There's no fucking there's no tag team division when it comes to women's wrestling. Like, people don't grow to wrestling school and go like, hey girl, we're gonna tag team together, we're gonna be tag team champions, we're going to WrestleMania. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. Like, where is this tag? Like, this isn't a real thing.
I think it was like Katana and the other homegirl, but they got released, so it doesn't even really matter.
They were
they came in as singles support.
And they came in as singles. And to their credit, though, they became a real, like, they were like the only real tag team on WWE television.
How about the Iconics?
No. Yeah, the Iconics. That's what I was gonna say. The Iconics is literally the only one.
Only one.
The only one. That's it.
Said we was gonna be and they got rid of them.
They're putting people together now on AEW TV, and you see like Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, and they're dressed alike. And Harley Cameron, or I guess she's injured now, but
she messed up her arm, right?
Yeah. I guess they did the angle on Dynamite to write her off TV.
That's what it was. Yep.
So I was like, damn, there goes that.
Right. That one tag team, they was, and I liked it. I was like, damn, like,
you just had them. And you got the Renegade twins who were born together. I don't even think that counts. Like, you're born in tag team. How many other born tag teams do you have? It's just, again, like Sid said, you already have the mid-card women's championship, the world championship. You can simply book more women on the card. You don't need a belt to lock yourself in. You can just do it. Like, if you give me if you just take a year and actually create a division before dropping these belts, when it seems like they're going to do in the summer or something like that, because they've heated it up. Like, as soon as Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne started coming out with their dual entrance, and fucking Anna Jay and Harley Cameron came out with new theme music, I was like, oh, they're dropping these belts now. Like, they're not waiting. I think Tony Khan mentioned that damn tag belt at that conference for a reason, and it's coming soon, and that bothers me.
Neither of those teams are going to win it. It's going to be Willow and Chris.
Yeah. They've been building that for a while now. And again, it's two single. They should both be world champion. Like, what are they doing? What are we doing with this?
It's to keep them okay and happy and like, okay, I can't give you these titles, but we'll give you these titles. That's just what it is. It's a consolation prize. It's sad, but it's true. And Willow she just re-signed, so she ain't going nowhere.
I was like,
we've got time.
Let's sign some more ladies before we do that. Like, come on, what are we doing? But
I mean, true. Very true.
Teach us some. But yes, keep coming with those comments. Keep coming with those super chat donations, because we got some big news to discuss as well. Because yesterday it all dropped after months and months of speculation and talk. The contract year into interest from WWE, it finally happened. PW Insider reports that Mariah May has parted ways with All Elite Wrestling. as her profile has been removed from the company's roster page. That's usually what happens when someone leaves the company and becomes a free agent. WWE sources noted that she is expected to start with the company soon. Fightful Select confirms that Mariah May is indeed WWE bound, and their sources noted that WWE had interest in her as soon as they heard she was available. Of course, they can't contact talent unless they are free to actually sign. Mariah May's management says that her AEW deal has not officially expired at the time of this show, and WWE sources claim a contract with them has not been signed. A contract, has not been signed as of yet. It is believed she will sign with the company. So the moment her AEW deal is officially done, most people in All Elite Wrestling expected that she would move on to WWE following the Hollywood ending at AEW Revolution with Timeless Toni Storm earlier this year. The most surprising part of her leaving AEW was that her contract was only for 2 years with no additional option year. I mean, yeah, that's been like the big shocker of this all, but what a run. If that was what she signed, I don't think that you could have booked her. You could have booked her title reign a little better, but as far as like looking from the outside looking in, looking at the overall picture of her 2-year run, she came in a top position in a storyline with the best women's wrestler in the company at that time, the world champion, going to be the world champion at that time, and they did a 2-year arc of them basically in the story of protege and mentor, then becoming friends, then they became enemies, the big heel turn after she wins the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. She wins the AEW Women's World Championship in her home country, then she holds it for I think it was 4 or 5 months before dropping it to Toni in her home country, and then they blow it off in the greatest women's match in company history. I think that's as good as you're gonna get for a 2-year run, and maybe the reason why they didn't book the title reign so well is because they knew they only had 2 years. So you can't get everything. Got to take the wins with the losses. Let's start with Krissy this time. Krissy, what do you think about Mariah May finishing up with AEW and going to WWE? There should also be noted that Dave Meltzer in the Figure 4 Online live update basically had another kind of summation about all of this, and hasn't gotten a lot of people happy, but I mean, I just find it hilarious. I will say.
Right.
He is absolutely right. What are we talking about here? He's absolutely right. But he basically compared the whole situation to what happened with Stephanie Vaquer, which we've talked about numerous times, that some people basically have the dream of going to WWE and they will basically take a pay cut. He said, and I quote, it's the same situation with Stephanie Vaquer where she would have made more money elsewhere. In Vaquer's case, a lot more money, but their dream was WWE. WWE counts on that as the same reason they got May and Vaquer is also the same reason they didn't get the likes of Will Ospreay and Kazuchika Okada, because of the belief that they would value a WrestleMania moment above a larger paycheck or a bigger push. So what do you think about Mariah May making the decision to go to WWE and end her run with AEW? Do you think it's the right decision or an ill-advised one?
Listen, I'm not mad at anyone that chases their dream. However, I think that they need to see. I wonder if she spoke to like Mercedes, or she didn't. Okay, John, Josh, or Tony. Listen, I mean, I'm
not shaking my head because of that. I'm just you'll see why.
I don't think that her run will be that great. They're gonna push her. They're gonna take her right to NXT. She's not even going to a main roster. She's going to the developmental part first. How long they will keep her there, I don't know. But again, they've also done this with Stephanie, Jordynne, Julia. Well, no, Julia's now moved up now. Okay, so whatever. But anyways. Nevertheless, maybe they'll give her a little run like they did Julia. Julia was there for like a year, just sitting there. But, whatever. I wish her the best of luck. I don't think this was a good run, but you know, I can't be mad at someone that wants to follow a dream. This is the pinnacle. They want the big box of like, and check this off the box. I guess she'd do like a 2-3 year run there and then probably come on back. I don't know. But best of luck to her. They're gonna change her name to something else that's stupid.
December, May.
We don't know, because Ethan Page sold his name to WWE. She could do the same thing to keep her name. But John, what do you think about Mariah May's decision and AEW parting ways with her?
I've been following Mariah May for a long time. Before she was a wrestler, weirdly, she was. I was just following people on Instagram, and she was a very pretty model for WWE shirts. And I remember thinking, like, they got all these girls that don't watch wrestling modeling these fucking shirts. There's no way this girl watches wrestling. Like, have you seen her? And she was out of all of the people from that era, because that was a very common WWE thing when Instagram first started. And out of all the people who were doing that, she was like the only one who went to wrestling school and started posting about training and started posting about wrestling in Europe, and then eventually going to Stardom. And the whole time, the common thread was that she was a massive WWE fan. She used a fucking pedigree as one of her main moves. Like, she loved WWE. So I always knew that this day would come. But then the 2-year contract thing surprised the shit out of me. And I start like getting conspiracy minded. Like, this is such an odd situation contract wise. Like, it's never happened before. I wonder if there was a understanding when they came into this about, this is going to be, we're using you for this long. This is the story we're telling. And they might have known from the beginning, because people were like, oh, she let them know headed into Hollywood ending that she wouldn't be re-signing. And I wonder if they always knew. I just wonder if they always, because it was booked so clean. So perfectly clean. She, even before she debuted with the company, she was teasing the Timeless Toni Storm thing. And they went right into it. And it was her whole existence until the end. Her world title reign, not having other stories in it, I think that was also purposeful. She's not got another story. The part of that chapter of the story is simply her defending the championship. Like, that was what it was. So I almost wonder if this was always the plan. Now, as far as everybody else's predictions about how she's gonna be used on WWE TV, I can't say I disagree. It's like, it's WWE. History says one thing. I mean, there's precedent now. Maybe she'll come in because she was on AEW TV and she'll get that initial push, and because she's good, she'll sustain it. But it's WWE TV, and she's going to NXT to feud with fucking JC.
Yeah, like I don't even understand why this is a question. Why people think that? Oh, I think Senior Nerd, and I love you, Senior Nerd. She's not going straight to the main roster. She's not going straight to the main roster. She's basically, why do you think JC Jane is the NXT Women's Champion? It's because she's a placeholder until we get another top star, and that is Mariah May.
And honestly, she's built for NXT right now. Like, she's everything they like in NXT. That's her look, her buzz coming from AEW. She's what Sean is looking for. Exactly. You know, maybe she's missing an asset or two that Sean likes to look for in NXT women's wrestlers, but she'll make up for it with pure talent. Hopefully she's given the opportunity. I don't know that she's going to be able to be the same Mariah May that she was on AEW television. That's just, I don't know if you could do that. One, she's got a lot of her best matches were really bloody and hardcore, and you're not getting that on WWE TV. I saw somebody trying to predict her and Rhea Ripley in the bloody dog collar match. Get your head out of the fucking clouds. That's never happening on WWE TV. Good luck. But we'll see. Maybe I'll be wrong. I'll be glad to be wrong. She wanted it for so long, and she's like custom built for them. They love her look. Like, they would want someone who looks like her to be world champion. Tiffany Stratton is on SmackDown right now, about to replace her previous version, Charlotte.
Exactly.
Who replaced her previous version, Trish? You know, like, who replaced Sable? You know, who replaced Sunny? You can go back. There's always a spot for one, you know.
We need a top blonde star. That's what the WWE is always looking for. And Big Man,
I don't know why. Why do we need blondes? Hello.
It's Vince. It's an old Vince thing that will never go away.
It's aesthetically what they look for. Big Man Dog says at some point the money is so good either way that you can prioritize personal fulfillment. That being said, I feel like her ceiling is higher in AEW. I mean, the money is gonna be good, but the money is better with AEW. She could have made more money, and she could have made both money by playing both sides. I think that if she would have played both sides, I would have nothing to say. I wouldn't have my headline being "Stop letting these billionaires be broke boys," because that's what it is. That's what it is with Stephanie Vaquer. That's what it was with Mariah May. They are allowing these billionaires to have broke boy energy because it's all about the dream. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I know Krissy said she's all for people realizing their dreams. I'm not. This is the wrestling business. This is not a wrestling dream. This is the wrestling business. It's business. That's the key word. Business. You make as much money as possible, especially when you're dealing with billionaires. Let's put a gun to these billionaires' heads and say, run that shit. Don't be right. Oh, I'm just gonna take the dream. I love the dream. My dream is WrestleMania. And Romeo was responded to us in the chat. He was like, WrestleMania with the MAY. I was like, yes, mania, not pania. Because she ain't getting the pay that she would have gotten if she played both sides.
Right. Yeah, if she would have negotiated. Yeah, she should have played. And Tony probably would have gave it to her, too.
I think Tony would have given her the world. I think they were really ready to give her whatever she wanted. But
I guess he was like, whatever you want to do. If you want to go do your... Tony is more empathetic than the other assholes on the other side. I promise you that.
Yeah. And John's actually right too. Once it was revealed that she told them she wasn't gonna resign before the Hollywood ending, WWE was like, let's put out a news link to WrestleVotes and say we got an outstanding offer for her. Yeah. It's outstanding. She hasn't seen what Tony was gonna offer. She told him no already, so we can give her an outstanding offer that's a couple of zeros less than what Tony was gonna give her.
I think one thing I will say is I appreciate the art of pro wrestling more than the money, which is why I appreciate AEW. It's just kind of like they have the artistic freedom that you won't have in a more capitalistic environment like WWE, where everything is plastic figures and selling cartoons and shit. So if somebody's dream is to put themselves through that filter, then my only concern is like, damn, that dream is about to be a nightmare. But that's for you to find out. You know, when you do find that out, I'll just be here cringing and sad about it. I feel the same about most guys who get used like shit on WWE TV but resign. It's like, I felt bad for you before, but now I don't care. For Mariah May, she's still on her first strike. We'll see. Like, I feel bad if it goes bad for her in WWE. I will feel bad. I'm gonna be like, damn, that really sucks. I'm not gonna be like, look at you, good for you. You should have stood in AEW. No, I'm like, I really hope it works out, and if it doesn't, I hope she comes back. Like, just come on back. Don't worry, but just come on back. We'll treat you great over here.
I mean, that's what it is. He'll treat you really nice when you leave, and he'll probably open you back with open arms. I'm saying she'll do this like 2-3 years because they're gonna get her for a while. They're not even gonna have her for a year. They're not gonna do no dumb stuff.
They ain't gonna do no 2-year deal. No,
they're doing like at least 3-4 years, 3 to 5. Sorry, she gotta do a 3 to 5 year bid, and they're not letting you go that easy. Tony probably would like, hold you hostage for a little while and then let you go.
I think that she's gonna be great, especially in NXT. I think that she can instantly go to NXT and become NXT Women's Champion. And I say all of this, about the pay and the money. And I'm not saying that I don't wish her the best. I want the best for her, and I think she's so talented. She's one of the best talkers. She's one of the best character workers. She's very underrated in the ring. She can excel in WWE 100%. I'm also a notorious bag watcher and run these billionaires for as much money as fucking possible, man. You telling me TKO don't got an extra zero from Mariah May? Man, fuck these niggas. Anyway, Josh, what do you think about that? What do you think?
I mean, first of all, I just want to say that I was completely wrong. I did think she was gonna re-sign with AEW, and I was wrong as fuck. So I just want to put that on the record before somebody tries to use that against me. But besides that, right? I had some good rest. I slept for like 4 hours because I'm an idiot. So I wanted to really like think about this, right? And you know what? I don't blame the women, right? I know I got on Stephanie and I got on Mariah. You know what? I don't blame them. You know who I blame? I blame their agents, their agency. Because why the fuck do you represent somebody? And you're signing them to represent them to get the most money, and yet you're getting less money. What the fuck are you doing with your job? And the reason why I'm saying that is because, right, somebody in the chat, I think it was Senior Nerd, he brings up, that she did what Juan Soto did. No, it's not the fucking same. Because when Juan Soto came to the New York Yankees, he got traded. Was there for a year. He was a rental, right? And then guess what? He went to free agency, right? He played the market. He wanted to see what teams were available, right? It was the Red Sox. It was the Yankees. It was the Mets. It was the Blue Jays. He had multiple teams that wanted him, right? Guess what? He ended up taking the Mets, who offered him the most money. That's why he went to the Mets, because he took the most fucking money. He didn't take a pay cut to go to that team. He took the most money. And none of these women they didn't do that. And that's part of the problem that I have too, where it's not so much of like, right? You understand that it's a dream, right? You understand like, hey, like I want to be here. This is my dream. The problem is that we're in fucking wrestling business. The wrestling business is very cutthroat business. So if you can make the most money possible,
and just not to interrupt you, you don't know how much time you have in the wrestling.
Yes,
exactly. Especially and for better or worse. And I love women's wrestling, but for better or worse, it's even more with women wrestlers, with female wrestlers. You never know how much time you really have.
Yeah.
You never know if they want to have a family, if they just like their body gives out on them. Our clock is not as the same as the guys, and we might be hot today and like different tomorrow. I don't know.
So it's like, in regards to that, like I understand like when it comes to like living your dream and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, it's the wrestling business. The wrestling business, like I said, it's very cutthroat, and you never know when your time is up. So that's why when it comes to that, like hearing that, I was very disappointed. Once the SP3 sent me that, I wasn't livid, but I was like, fuck, I knew it. I knew she took less money. And it's just more the fact is like, if they really truly wanted you, they would have paid you top dollar. I don't give a fuck. Right?
I guess their own justification is like, I'm gambling on myself, and if I make this work, then the next contract will be a really big one, and it will be all worth it.
Yeah, I could see that thing, right? I could see that. Like that's 100%. You're 100% on board with that. The problem too is that again, when it comes to wrestling, especially women's wrestling, because women's wrestling, I feel like they always have a harder ladder to climb. Where it's like, if you're not Becky Lynch, you're probably not going to see that money. So, like, that's why it's one of those things where, like, I understand that the women are gambling on themselves, but it's like, damn, the opportunity's right there. Like, you got to, grab the bag. Like, you know what I mean? Like, take advantage of that. You're a free agent for a reason, And that's why I'm a little disappointed when it comes to that. But overall, if that's what she wants to do, I'm not gonna be upset at that. It was her decision. She feels like it's the right time to go to WWE. And I do hope good things happen for her. Do I think she's gonna do anything that's gonna top the storyline she was in the AEW? As of right now, I don't think so.
That's difficult.
Never.
Difficult.
And that's part of the thing too, because it's like she was literally part of the best storyline for women's wrestling in AEW. So it's like to try to pop off anything significant in WWE when it comes to that. I mean, it's just she has the skill set. I think she's a great wrestler. So there's a lot of stuff that she has going for her, right? When it comes to that, When it comes to when she goes to NXT, obviously I think that's anybody that goes from there to NXT, it's already a big ceiling for them. My main thing would be the main roster when she gets there and see how they use her. But overall, I mean, if it was her decision, she has every right to make that decision, right? Yeah. That's what she chose, and if it goes good, she's gonna get another contract. If it goes bad, then she knows the experience. She knows how it is, and wish her the best.
We got Josh's better half in the chat, Wendy, who says, in your guys' opinion, what is your top 3, top 5 best AEW women storylines? I think that it's definitely number 1 is Timeless Toni Storm and Mariah May. Number 2 would be Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa for me. Then it's a steep drop off, honestly, if you really think about it. If we're being 100% honest, but I would put like Mercedes and Willow, or Mercedes and Chris in that conversation.
I'm gonna put maybe a controversial one up there. Jade Cargill's TBS championship reign is a top 5 AEW story all the way through, and it's so top that she was able to take that whole momentum with her somewhere else. I don't know
you know who you don't hear stories about taking less money? Jade Cargill. Thank you, Jade. Thank you, Jade. I didn't need to have this rant when she left.
You don't think she has like Brandon Davis agent services available to her? Like she's not dealing with like Paradigm and Barry Bloom. She's got like a real sports people dealing with her. No, I think honestly, I don't know who she signed with, but it's very clear that she was not playing the same games as Stephanie Vaquer or Mariah May. She is not.
No. We do have a super chat donation here from Auntie Collins in the chat. Good to see you, Auntie Collins. And thanks to Cresta. She says, Cresta brought me here. I appreciate that. From Cresta, appreciate seeing Auntie Collins. Check her out over on Fightful, Overbooked. Wrestling Made Me Cry, one of my favorite viewings on Sunday. She's doing great work over there. And she's gotten to see me in my true essence, not my professional status that I do on Fightful streams. He's like seeing SP3 in his true heel form is truly magic. Thank you for that. We got Call Me Mr. Bonda, who puts out his top 3. He says Mariah May versus Toni Storm. Number 2, Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander. Number 3, Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker, in my opinion. Willow and Chris, I think that's still going. That story's still going on. I think it is going to be probably a top 3, top 5 AEW storyline, but they kind of fumbled the bag a little bit after All Out last year by just switching Chris back to a babyface and not really completing the whole story with her and Stokely, where that's why I leave that out. And I say
that was so weird. That was so weird. We just deaded it. Never mind.
They put him somewhere else.
Just took him off TV for a long time.
And then he appeared with FTR.
Yep.
Sometimes the thing about AEW is they keep people's personal situations close to the chest. So we'd be out here complaining like, whatever happened to this guy? And it's like, unfortunately, his mom actually died. And it's like, oh shit. I'm sorry.
My bad. And yeah, this is Auntie Collins makes a good point. There's also like Krissy's been saying that there's a possibility that Mariah could go to WWE for a few years and then come back to AEW. Yep. But I also think what Jon said is very important. This has probably been her plan from the beginning. She went from a fangirl and a model to an indie wrestler, from an indie wrestler to go to Stardom, where she was able to kind of improve in the ring, get a more hard-hitting physical style that is more kind of could stand out more when she head back to the United States and head back to the mainstream market. Then she signs with the second biggest promotion. She comes in a top program with their world champion, a 2-year run where she wins the Owen Hart Cup, wins the world championship, is involved in one of the greatest storylines in company history, regardless of gender, and then completes it with a match of the year candidate. Like Sat made the comparison on Twitter yesterday, and I was like, this is on point. This is mad accurate. It's Ric Flair in 1991, 1993 going to WWF. It's as good as that 2-year run is Mariah May in AEW.
True. Very true. Yeah.
Because
he didn't have
Ric
to go there,
Flair's
but
Ric Flair had 2 runs with the WWF Championship, and neither one of them was worth shit. So it's similar.
Yeah.
It's very similar. It's very similar.
Yeah.
I'd even argue. I'd argue Mariah May had a better run than Ric Flair in the WWF. Watch. Tell you, you go back. You can watch that Mariah May Tony Storm story right now. Go back and watch Ric Flair's abandoned fucking Hulk Hogan story or whatever. Or his was it? Who did he lose the belt to? Randy Savage?
Yeah, he lost it to Savage, and then he lost it to Brett.
Brett. Yeah, I was gonna say, was this Brett Savage or Brett? It was both of them. That's what marijuana does to your brain, folks.
We got another super chat donation here from Vala. Thank you so much, Vala, for the support. He says, Bald Fraud got real pressure on him because if they don't book Mariah well, they're going to post Tony's last promo to his terminal online ad. Yo, I reposted that yesterday. I was like, I cannot imagine how many times this final promo of "you will just go into obscurity" will be posted so many times. If they fumble it once, if they do anything like they did with Ricky Saint's NXT North American title run, it's getting posted at nauseum. I cannot. You don't like.
How long was he champ for? Like a month?
Like 2 months.
He said he ran the AEW Dark Gauntlet and then just dropped the belt. I've seen it referred to as that. I don't know. I think wrestling is such a funny thing because Toni Storm, when she cut that promo, they were aware that Mariah was going to WWE. Like your friend, you may be friends or whatever, and then you hear something like that, and like it's in character, but you're like, damn, bitch. Damn. Okay. Like wrestling is such a funny thing. Like I gotta be friends with this person, but she ripped my heart out of my chest on live television. But it was in character. Like I don't know how to take this.
Oh, or like Tony Schiavone when he said, "Oh, speak bitch now, come on."
Well, that at least that like Mike is at least that was funny. Like, speak bitch.
Yo,
that is his greatest contribution to AEW commentary ever. I literally, me and Jimmy have not let anyone forget that moment. We have played that on every episode of AE Ramble since it happened. It's his greatest moment ever. Speak, bitch, come on. Oh, Tony, what the hell, Tony? It's
especially Sunday, especially Double or Nothing. Especially with the Young Bucks, the entrance of the Young Bucks, where what he said, what was it? He said again. He said that was the biggest bullshit I've ever heard.
I've noticed Tony Schiavone taking a step back from commentary the past
on Dynamite.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4 weeks. It's been Ian Riccaboni, who I got no problem with. Actually, I love Ian Riccaboni's commentary.
I'm gonna say it here. Ian's better. The commentary is always better in AEW if Ian, Nigel, or Callis is on commentary.
They're there to do their job, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Tony Schiavone, right? I love Tony Schiavone, but he is so tired. He's so tired of everybody. Shit. He's tired physically. He's like, and he's got 2 jobs in the company. So like, I get it. But it sounds like it on commentary. He sounds like he's had a day on commentary. like he's ready to go home. Like, let's get this show over with. I already did 6 hours. Like, I gotta put 2 more in. Let's get this the end of my shift. I feel. And again, I love Tony Schiavone, and sometimes I love that tone. Sometimes it's appropriate. But like you said, Ian Riccaboni is he's the top of his game.
Yeah.
He's at his prime right now, honestly.
I agree with King of the North in the chat. Good to see you, brother. He says if that Mariah May Fed run sucks, that Tony Storm promo going triple platinum on the timeline, SP3. It gonna be played more than Not Like Us last summer. It's going to be on that. It's going to be on that status. We're going to have to nominate it for the AMAs and the Grammys. That's how much it's going to be played. If this goes wrong, if there's a misstep, not even if it sucks, if it's bad, if it has a misstep, that shit is going to be played ad nauseum. I don't even want that for this poor woman. This woman doesn't deserve that.
Mm-mm.
But we shall see. We shall see what happens there. A bit of other AEW Double or Nothing news. A new report has several backstage details on the main event of Double or Nothing last Sunday. Hangman Adam Page, of course, defeating Will Ospreay in the main event of the show to win the men's Owen Hart Foundation tournament and get a shot at the AEW World title at All In Texas. As has been previously reported, the report of the match was kept quiet in the weeks leading up to the show, and Fightful Select reports that Hangman and Ospreay found out earlier in the weekend that Page would be going over. The report notes that each man had pushed for the other to win the matchup, and sources said that Tony Khan was non-committal through the process when talent would ask what the result was going to be. Most believed Ospreay would win, and the reaction backstage was one of shock. While the match was a very physical one, both men seemed fine after the matchup. The report also notes that AEW World Champion Jon Moxley leaned toward wanting Hangman to win the match, though there's no word on whether that had any bearing on the result. Of course, Tony Khan has the final decision on the booking, and the match earned a lot of praise backstage, and the general feeling was that the show was very positive. During Thursday's edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer shared some additional details on the main event, and he said the story is mostly true that's out there. I mean, in the sense that they did have discussions noting that both men thought their opponent should have won. According to Meltzer, that's something that's not that unusual that happens in AEW. According to Meltzer, he said that the stories that's not true is the one that nothing was decided till the last minute. He also reported now the truth is that almost nobody knew, and there were people backstage, and most of them, I think, thought that Will Ospreay was winning until the match ended, and he didn't win. Meltzer added that AEW kept the result of the main event under the vest, reporting that while the result was known to almost nobody, the finish of Hangman winning was not decided at the last minute. Meltzer continued that one source informed him on the finish that it was kept really secret, but they were people who knew, but they were sworn to secrecy on it. Meltzer also described that both AEW and WWE have more of a team atmosphere than the previous generation, with less wrestlers politicking for themselves to go over in a big feud. It's not unusual for wrestlers advocating for their opponents to go over, and it should be noted that Fightful Select's version also states that Tony Khan kept the finish of the main event under wraps, and that it didn't indicate that the finish of the main event was decided at the last minute. And it reports that Page and Ospreay only found out about the actual finish earlier in the weekend are mostly what was true about this whole thing. So let's go to you first, John. What do you think about this report about the decision making behind the Ospreay and Hangman finish, and the fact that both men were basically vouching for the other, saying, now you win. It was like a duel. It was like a duel between two Canadians. They're so nice and they want the other to win.
I think it's funny because in a way this is also politics. You know, like it's manners, it's polite, it's what you want someone to say. Like you want to be the guy who goes, Ospreay should win this. In your heart, I think I would like to be in the main event of All In, but this is not 1996. You know, thankfully, they're in a locker room where they feel comfortable and they don't feel like they're going to lose their spot if they say something wrong like that. So you can be polite and you can say things like that. And that's what's real good about the wrestling industry today, that there's room to have those kind of manners backstage. I don't know if people got real mad. Like, oh gosh, how could they feel this way? This isn't wrestling. We need to go back to the 80s. I'm like, come on, think of it on a fucking human, a person.
Motherfuckers was sounding like Mark Calloway on Twitter. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's like but I didn't want to address that part directly because I know some of the people online had like specific reasons why they felt this way. I thought some of the reasons were really stupid. Like, oh, I got real into the story and they're ruining it for me. I was like, but we're online enough to know. Like, we know.
Get offline.
Like, what are you talking about?
Get offline. What are you doing?
Yep,
that's never gonna be a problem for me. Oh, this backstage thing came out and it ruined the story for me. What the fuck? Like, I already thought it was a story. What are you talking about?
I actually enjoy it more because of that. As crazy as that sounds.
I think when they went out there on Wednesday and they cut those promos on Dynamite, I definitely think they were out there trying to make their case and trying to like be the best, like whichever, like they were trying to win that promo battle. That's still like you still have that environment. They're still competitive, you know. So I don't have a problem with people going, I think Ospreay should win. No, I think Hangman should win backstage. That's fucking great, actually. Now we won't have any goddamn summers of 2022s happening anytime soon. Okay, that's what AEW's biggest problem was for the perception. Oh gosh, everything is so scary backstage. Alberto Del Rio's punching people, and CM Punk is acting like a bitch. And all that stuff is gone now, and now you get the reports. You got the reports of everybody being kumbaya together. I'm like, damn, this is when AEW was at their best.
Did you just call Andrade Alberto Del Rio?
That's what I'm like. Damn.
It took me a minute. I had to let that absorb, and I was like,
I didn't even know. I was letting him finish, and I was like, all right, let it go, and then but
I would never have caught it. It flew right by.
Yeah, it did. I would have never caught it if you didn't say anything. Because I was with him. He was cooking. You didn't let him cook.
I'm sorry.
You didn't let him finish. Thanks.
Listen, at this point, they're not even too far away from each other. But no, Andrade. I mean, everything is good in AEW again, and I feel like before the dark cloud arrived in August of 2021, there were this was the way things were backstage. It was a collaborative environment. It was a joke. All friends wrestling was the meme because everybody loved each other. But they were so fucking happy. They were putting out product. There was no backstage problems. I'm happy to see them get back there. I got no problems with that at all. None.
Krissy, I know you've been one to kind of say that sometimes the online stuff bothers you, but does this take away any of your enjoyment from the main event, knowing that they were kind of pushing for the other to win this matchup?
No, I mean, I didn't need to know it, but it's fine. It's cool. I don't care. Look, they gave a great, because I'm like sitting there, I'm like, well, damn, I put in chat, I was like, damn, how long have they been moving? Like they've been moving for like mad long now, yo. I was like, they're trying to push the record. They're trying to push it. But I'm not mad at like knowing that each one was trying to like push for the other one. And I like that the two of them were trying to push for each other. Like no one is like better than the other, and they just think that they think that this guy deserves it. And like at the end of the day, I was at first mad that Will Ospreay didn't win, but I'm not mad at the whole situation because now again, like you said, it's in Texas. Everything was foreshadowed, and we should have known from then. But hey, whatever. I hope he does get it over there.
I make beats saying people hating on people getting along goes a lot to say about how miserable he must be in their lives. Oh well. Josh, what do you think about this whole report?
I mean, in regards to when it comes to Will, I think Will has shown enough that he's very selfless. Like he's very unselfish individual, and you don't see that a lot in wrestling. So I think that's why someone like Will Ospreay is good for the business because of that. He still has that mindset of wanting other people to get opportunities. And, he could have been somebody being very selfish of, hey, this is my time now. I want the spotlight. And, because Hangman has been a champion. He's been on top. He's been there already.
Yep.
But the fact that he sees how important it is. And, it's not only important for Hangman, but he sees the fact that he sees someone like Hangman, like, no, like you need to be that person right now. He sees the bigger picture when it comes to all the fans, when it comes to the perception of AEW. And again, I think that's one of his best traits. Will Ospreay is one of the best, I think, or the best performer in the ring. But I also think he's a better person outside when it comes to stuff like that. So I mean, it was cool to hear about that. Like it didn't bother me, and it was cool to hear that. Especially both guys, they're like, "No, you should win. Oh, you should win." And what I like about the situation is that for both situations, whoever won, and I told somebody this, like whoever won, there was different reasons why somebody like Will Ospreay needed to win, right? Do you see it as well needed to win because if this wins, this solidifies him as being the real face of the company. When Hangman, it was about his story, it was about his arc, but also the fan perception of people wanting Hangman to be that guy again. So either way, you couldn't go wrong with either guy winning. But I like the fact that you hear stories like that when it comes to guys just being unselfish. And again, don't hear that a lot in the business.
Yeah. Only other notes to talk about from Double or Nothing is a lot of people are banged up after Double or Nothing coming out of the show. Fightful Select had an update on several talents were banged up coming off of the show and waiting on clearance from the on-site medical team. The report notes that the questionable list of hurt talents following the event was as long as it's been in a while. The Young Bucks, who competed in Anarchy in the Arena, were reportedly both hurting after AEW Double or Nothing, and it appeared that Nick Jackson suffered a concussion, but Fightful reports that an official diagnosis on Jackson's injury wasn't provided. I said immediately for what that senton off the screen, I was like, yeah, he looked loopy immediately after that, and it shows he was ready to perform because he just gutted through it and continued the matchup. But the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Jackson is expected to be out of action for several weeks. In better news,
that's a concussion.
Yeah,
definitely.
He did, but he was dazed.
Yo, he was loopy, and they checked on him multiple times.
Yep.
In better news, Fightful reports that after reaching out to Jamie Hayter, she revealed that she was totally fine after her match with Mercedes Moné. It said that Hayter had no worries physically after the matchup. Additionally, Will Ospreay, who lost to Hangman, reportedly emerged out of his match unscathed. Ospreay said it was at the AEW Dynamite taping and Collision taping in El Paso this week. Fightful also notes that AEW will likely be able to announce more matches for the show, which they were able to do. A new report had some notes on the talent who were backstage at Double or Nothing. Fightful reports that Juice Robinson, Tekla, Veda Scott, and Alex Hammerstone were all backstage at Sunday's show. Robinson has been out of action due to injury, and the site reports that his recovery timetable will be longer than anticipated. Tekla, who lives in Arizona, was at the show and getting some things done before her impending debut, which occurred on Dynamite. Scott was there to support her husband, Speedball Mike Bailey, and it was also noted that Hammerstone is still a free agent at this time. And then finally, this past Sunday's AEW Double or Nothing, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports the early pay-per-view estimates are around 122,000 to 130,000, which would be lower than Revolution back in March, but higher than Dynasty in April. It's down from 2023, which is the most successful Double or Nothing, and slightly down from last year. The attendance ended up being 8,179. So overall, really good stuff for AEW as far as the business end of things. It has to be considered a success for AEW all around as far as quality and the business that it did. So good on them. Good week for AEW this week.
PR wise, for sure. PR wise, they are on cloud 9 right now. I really hope we can keep this momentum.
I hope so. Because wrestling is always good when both companies are doing what they want to do best.
Yep.
WWE is worried about the bottom line, and they have no stop to how much money they're going to make. AEW leans more to giving the quality, and the quality has been good to great as of late. So good on both companies, both two of the top companies. I think New Japan, Stardom, Marigold, they're all doing good as well. TNA is selling out shows as well, even though Jimmy Macaram did make me die laughing. He was like, TNA's been selling out these 14-seat arenas, which...
It has been. He's not wrong. It's probably like 30 people in their tops. At best.
We just always got
According
shit
to
on
them, sellouts too. According to them, they always post it right before the show. Oh, the show was sold out right before the
10 people.
They're gonna be filming that shit at the PC soon. Just wait.
They're gonna call it the Impact Zone. It's gonna be the Impact Zone. There we go. I did want to also touch on Dynamite before we let John go, because Dynamite was a good post. I thought it was the best post pay-per-view episode of Dynamite that they've had this year so far. They did 636,000 viewers, which was up from the week prior. The show featured Hangman Adam Page coming out to cut a splendid, fired-up babyface promo after winning the Owen Hart Cup and vowing to win the AEW World Title at All In Texas. But he was interrupted by his arch nemesis, Swerve Strickland, who accused Page of being behind the Young Bucks, screwing him out of the AEW World Title at Dynasty. After Hangman called him a dumbass and denied this, and Swerve said that he was full of shit, Will Ospreay came out to try to play peacemaker and convince Hangman and Swerve to work together to make sure that Jon Moxley is dethroned at All In. Swerve and Page turned this down, leaving Ospreay very disappointed in what I thought was a fantastic opening segment that really set the table for what should be a very compelling storyline heading into the main event of All In Texas. Speaking of the champion, Jon Moxley teamed up with Marina Shafir of the Death Riders and Gabe Kidd to defeat Mark Briscoe, Willow Nightingale, and Speedball Mike Bailey in an awesome trios matchup on the show. You also had Jamie Hayter was scheduled for an in-ring interview, but she was soon interrupted by the debuting Tekla, who laid her out before doing her signature spider pose. But then AEW pulled the TNA and said, "We're heading to the back," which sucked, but good on Tekla. The spider pose, it's gotten a lot of people talking. Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford picked up a win over Harley Cameron and Anna Jay in a pretty fun no DQ tag team matchup, while Adam Cole beat Kyle Fletcher via disqualification after a scary apron powerbomb in a TNT championship matchup with interference from Josh Alexander. This led to Brody King making the save and then segued into his matchup with Alexander, with Brody King won in an absolute banger to qualify for the AEW International Championship four-way matchup against Kenny Omega and two other participants next Wednesday at Fyter Fest. And the main event segment saw Mercedes Moné and Timeless Toni Storm meet face-to-face for the first time in a brilliant promo exchange that set the stage for their AEW All In Texas showdown in July. Storm stood tall after Mercedes tried to attack the champion, and she also won the dance battle that they did to close the show, because Timeless Toni Storm, the best dancer in AEW right now. John, what did you think about Dynamite this week? What stood out the most for you from the show?
That opening segment was the big highlight for me. Just something about that shot of Hangman, Swerve, and Ospreay just filled me with some emotions. Like, holy shit! Look at your guys. Look at your guys. And this isn't like three main eventers who don't have much time left. You know, like Kenny's. We know he's the guy, but how many years does he have left? You know, right. He's worked so hard. These are guys that have a decade left each. Mm-hmm. Like, these are your guys. And I just seeing them on TV like that, like, I was like, look at you, AEW. Like, god damn, look at you grow. I love it. I love it. I just love exactly. Just bam, this is us. This is what we got. And I was like, look at that shit. Put that thing away. That's not fitting in here. It made me happy, like, for AEW. Like, damn, let's see where we're going, because there's so many. There's the team up that's gonna come. There's the triple threat you do down the line. There's the different combinations of one-on-ones that you got, and that's years worth of shit you could do with just these three guys, let alone the rest of the roster that they have. Damn, God, I'm so happy. It feels good to be all elite.
Krissy, what did you think about that opening segment, and of course the main event segment with Timeless Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné?
I love they opened and closed it with bangers. Like, there's not much really more to say. It's like, I don't know who was a part of the team of the setting up this show, but it was like, we're gonna open it up with our top guys and we're gonna close it with our top girls, plain and simple. And Tony threw his dick on the table for both segments. I'm sorry. They both ladies, and again, Mercedes coming out. I think she looked too much cartoonish with the whole cowboy gear, but whatever. We could have lost the hat, but it's cool, whatever. She said she's like the Beyonce of wrestling. I was like, oh, okay, maybe. I don't know if I would say that, but you know.
The outfits are heavy-handed. We're gonna dress up like Beyonce every week now.
Every week,
Yes.
I was like,
Okay.
this is a cowboy because it's Cowboy Carter tour or whatever. We could find it's very cartoonish instead of looking like expensive. You're supposed to look like the CEO. That's not looking expensive. It's looking very cartoonish, like we're just cosplay. So we have to change her aesthetics. We're gonna be doing this. If we're gonna keep doing the same thing, that's all I'm saying. At least with Toni Storm, she's doing the same aesthetic. She's keeping the same thing. This is what it is. I have no complaints. Both Toni, I think Toni was the better of the two, but that's just me. And I'm not mad at whichever one wins that match. I know they're gonna these bitches is crazy. Who are these two bitches? I forgot what she said, but she said something.
She's like some little girl's gonna be watching us and be like, "Damn, these bitches are crazy."
There we go. It's gonna be great, and I can't wait. And I hope it's a lot of blood, and I hope it's gonna be messy, and it's gonna be good. Give them 20 minutes, kill it.
Yeah. Josh, what about you?
It was a great episode. I did like both opening and closing segments. I thought they were great, and it did what it needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I do agree with John. Like seeing all three guys in the ring, it's like, oh shit, like. This is your top three stars.
Yep. This is your
shit, right? And then the fact that we're going to the direction that we might get Swerve versus Ospreay 2 for All In, I'm down with that. To be honest with you, I think that's like if they're not gonna have anything else, because obviously they're not gonna be in the title picture for that show. I think that's a prime match. And it's interesting to hear that because obviously, like you did say earlier about the original plan was going to be Swerve and Hangman versus the Bucks, and now that's going to be interesting to see like where that goes when it comes to building this card for All In. And so far, I mean, the card itself, like the projected matches and the matches already announced, I mean, it looks like it's going to be another like crazy show.
Banger.
So, yeah,
When is
so
it, July what?
12th?
July 12th, Saturday, July 12th. So yeah, that was I didn't add that in my notes here, but yeah, it should be worth mentioning. In the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer did report that the expected plan right now is that Will Ospreay will face Swerve Strickland at AEW All In Texas. That's what's being discussed at the moment. I'll ask you, John, what do you think about that top 5 matches that are been speculated or talked about for months here? Of the 2 matches we already have announced is Hangman versus Moxley for the AEW World Title, Mercedes versus Timeless Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship, of course Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada for the Continental and International Championship, potentially Ospreay versus Swerve 2, and FTR versus Cope and a mystery partner or a partner of his choice.
The FTR versus Cope and potentially Christian, I think it's like I don't know how to get to Cope and Christian right now. Like I
think it's too it's too soon to do coping. I think they wait to do Cope and Christian in Toronto at all. Like
I even if like they would have to start now. Like you gotta get that going because Christian is so diabolical. Like that doesn't. How do you put him back with Edge or Cope? Like I still don't know how we do that. But other than that, like the card for All In is looking to be like we're probably gonna have the biggest All In match wise. Like obviously last year there's nothing. I don't know if we can match that Brian moment. Hangman moment is gonna have to feel real good to match that. But I think we're headed for one of the better AEW shows possibly of all time, depending on if they can get the atmosphere right and how many people are gonna be in the building and all that. I'm excited for this. And Ospreay versus Swerve puts me at ease because I was worried about both of them. What the fuck are they going to be doing on this show if they're not going to be in the world title picture against each other? Makes perfect sense. Now I'm going to wonder what the hell the Young Bucks are doing.
That's the question now is what do you do with like the Young Bucks then if they're going to be facing each other? And I heard, not to be a spoiler, but tonight's Collision is going to tell more of the story between Ospreay and Swerve. So
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I'm interested what they're gonna do with the Young Bucks. I mean, they can do Young Bucks. Throw them in the tag team title scene. Like, I don't think they're gonna break up MJF and the Hurt Syndicate, because I would like MJF and the Hurt Syndicate to be the new big bad in AEW after the Death Rider story is over.
They need something to make it different into once the Death Riders are like over or whatever. I mean, they probably will be over, but they'll have something else for them. But have someone just be like the hurt or the strong guys that wreaks havoc.
I think Darby coming back to end the Death Riders doesn't need the championship, so you can do that. That's a good thing. I'm more wonder, like, I wanted them to do like Casino Gauntlet. Like, I love Casino Gauntlet. That's like one of my favorite fucking AEW matches. I know last year they had, but the thing is, like, to make it good, it has to have a lot of good guys in it, and then they're not free to do like big marquee matches. So like, it's hard to kind of, who would I want to be? Who would I want in there? All the guys I want in there should theoretically be busy with bigger things. Like, I would want for them.
I feel like the Casino Gauntlet should go to the women. Because if you got the top two titles in that one matchup with Mercedes and Tony, you need to highlight, because you have so much talent in that women's division. Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, Thunder Rosa, if she's able to come back, Harley Cameron, Anna Jay, a Megan Bain, a Penelope Ford, Athena. Please, dear God, let Athena on this all-in card.
I can't understand how we got away from Athena Mercedes. I know they were like, we'll do it in Boston because it's a big deal for Mercedes, but like, are you fucking kidding me? That's like the one big blunder this year. Like, we threw that away on Dynamite. What the Goldberg Hogan fuck is this?
Goldberg Hogan, I love that.
Hey, to be fair, it was the best Dynamite of the year, because you had that and the Ospreay and Takeshita matchup.
It definitely was. It was just like, damn, that first time ever, like, we really did that on TV with no real build. Like, oh, it's a tournament, we'll see each other next week. Wait, what? All right, we'll see. I swore they were gonna come back around to it. I was like, oh, well, they'll just do the rematch in Texas. But yeah, we're here with this.
Because both of them were there for the whole launch of it all. So you would think that
And then I don't
gotta
even
be there somewhere.
And then I don't even see Mercedes. Like, if Mercedes does win the world championship, in my mind, the full arc of it brings it back to Willow. Like, I don't even see a space for to make this happen.
An edible sandwich?
This is the Harlem Shut Up Dada sandwich, right?
Eat it.
Okay.
And he took the tax. Oh, okay. I thought he took his tax. Yeah, I made that, but I want a quarter.
What kind of sandwich is it?
Oh, so good. Thank you.
The desperation in the question, Josh. Have you had breakfast?
No. You don't understand when it comes to Harlem, like what she does with the food. Like, you don't understand.
Yeah, what's in there, bro?
So I'll let y'all know. This has looks to have barbecue sauce, mayonnaise, cheddar cheese, and lettuce on a white bread. No meat.
You know how much bread and stuff costs? We can't keep wasting food like this.
You gotta eat that sandwich now.
She literally made me take a bite in front of her.
I know. She was open your mouth.
That's why he was scared. That's why I asked.
She was like, okay, and that's why she left. He wasn't leaving until he ate a piece of it. Now, how do you sneak that out of the room when you're finished?
I respect it. She's watching.
Yes, she's watching me. She's watching me. Sometimes I feel like she's watching me. Oh, we got a super chat. Oh, damn it. I was going to say this too, but Chase beat me to the brunch. He said, Chase with a super chat donation says, eat the sandwich, my friend. You need all the energy for the rest of the show. Okay. Here's the bite.
Ew.
Here you go.
It says mayo, cheese, and barbecue sauce and lettuce.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's actually not that bad. She put lettuce in it, at least. Usually there's nothing.
I'm about to say,
usually it's just condiments in a sandwich. She put cheese and lettuce in it.
So it helped this time. Okay. All you missing is meat. Pause.
Yeah, just
Sounds like any other
Thank
lonely lady at home on a weekend.
Just need some meat. Just need some meat. That's all we need. All right, we've gone through that. We just got a couple of AEW news to wrap things up, but I want to give John the floor so he can let everybody know where to follow him on social media. Thank you so much. It's been too long since we had you on the show. We're gonna. I'm now, after this great conversation talking about Double or Nothing with you, you'll probably get another invite after All In. We're gonna probably ask you to be back on after All In because I love having this talk with you and talking about Double or Nothing and all the fallout there. It's been a great time. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media, where they can see all your great work over at Dirt Sheet Radio, whether it be on social media, the YouTube channel. The floor is yours.
Jeez, Dirt Sheet Radio, fellas. It's search it, Google it, Dirt Sheet Radio. Find it on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. We're live every day, all the time. It's too much. I overextended myself. That's why I haven't been on Tru Heel Heat for too long. I stretched myself out in 8 different directions, and I don't know why I did it. But we're out there. We're everywhere. Find us. You'll definitely see me. People are tired of my face on Dirt Sheet Radio, but keep getting tired because you're just gonna see more of it.
Yeah.
we gotta do something. We gotta do something more. Oh shit, my camera died. Nice. We gotta do something more regular, Sid. We gotta work on something. We can't talk to each other twice a year. This has to be. Yeah. We gotta fix this. We'll definitely work on something.
No, for sure. We definitely need to talk. I'm down to come on Dirt Sheet Radio. Yeah, we gotta talk more often because this was a great time. We love having you on the show, but I want to come over there and invade the Dirt Sheet.
Yes, absolutely. We're gonna bring you on. And I didn't know you were on the other side of the world. That makes things a lot easier because I'm on Dirt Sheet Radios are so late. That's probably like fucking morning your time. We're gonna figure this out. This is gonna be fun.
It is. Yes. Sounds good, my brother.
Thank you
so much, man. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me, guys. You'll enjoy the rest of the show. I'm sorry that I couldn't be here for this. What I'm sure is going to be a fun, interesting SmackDown and otherwise television.
I hear no sarcasm whatsoever from your voice.
None. I mean that wholeheartedly.
Really fast because there's not much to really talk about anyway. So
I hope you enjoy Saturday night's main event, top tier, baby. You guys have fun, man. Love you guys. Be safe.
Love you,
Thank you, bro. Love you. All right. Thanks to John for joining us. For sure, we're going to have him back on. We need to have him back on after All In, definitely. But let's get into the rest of the AEW news because not only is Mariah May leaving, but we had 2 more departures for AEW over the past week. In a post on Twitter, Abadon announced that they are leaving AEW as their contract for the company will expire in June. Abadon originally signed with AEW back in 2020. They wrote on social media, "My time with AEW is coming to an end. My contract expires in June, and I will not be renewed. The emotions I'm currently trying to manage are incredibly difficult and full of conflict as I reflect on my time there. My goal is not to let this be it for me because I love wrestling too much to just stop. I've put in a lot of hard work." Excuse me, I lost my place here. Sorry. Put in a lot of work that I will now be able to showcase more often. While my heart is currently broken, you can bet that I'm still going to show up for training next week. If you're looking to book me, please send an email to bookabadonhere@gmail.com. Thank you. And then this morning, Bear Bronson also announced that he is no longer All Elite with his contract expiring with the company. So a couple of departures from the world of AEW this week, but we can't let a week of AEW talking go without Will Ospreay saying some shit that got people upset in an interview because Will Ospreay is always delivering the goods for us here on Tru Heel Heat. We appreciate you, Will. During a recent interview with John Jay and Rich afterwards, Ospreay discussed the talents recently released from WWE after WrestleMania 41 and noted that he wants to see these wrestlers go elsewhere to prove themselves before joining AEW. He said on what AEW is looking for right now, he said, for example, one of the guys who just came in is Speedball Mike Bailey, who was like the indie king at one point. He was going everywhere and putting on so many of the greatest matches ever. I think that's what we're looking at more now instead of guys that just got let go from WWE. And my heart goes out to them all. But we're looking for guys that are appreciative of this position, who are great, who are crafting and improving the markets elsewhere instead of they just got let go from WWE and instantly assume they can come here. On what the released WWE wrestlers should do now, he says, nah, go out and prove to other people you're wanted and desired. My heart goes out to all of them. It should never be assumed that, oh, I got let go here, I can just walk into AEW. Nah, bruv. The bar is too high now. I want to see all these guys cut their teeth elsewhere and improve the houses elsewhere. Go to New Japan, go to Noah, go to Stardom, go elsewhere and improve their houses before you can think, oh, I'll just come here. On some of the talents who left WWE and joined AEW, he says, that's just me. There are certain guys like Swerve got let go from WWE and came to AEW straight away. He's a special one. He's special. MVP is another. He's special. Lashley, special. Shelton, special. I want people to be like, you can't just come walk in. I really do think the independents need it right now. They need someone to help guide this next generation to come through. That's just me personally. I don't think that in any type of disrespectful way right now, AEW, we are the best wrestlers right now. And all those guys who have been let go tragically are really good wrestlers, but you can't just be good anymore. You've got to be elite. This is probably the most inoffensive thing Will Ospreay said in the interview recently.
So
He's spitting facts. He's spitting facts. They gotta be stingy. They got a criteria to meet now. It shouldn't just go to anybody. Anybody can't just be accepted in. He's not wrong at all. I agree.
Yep.
And then everybody in the chat saying it.
No, especially this wave of talents that got released. There really isn't really anybody that really stands out.
Mm-hmm.
At most you could say is Cora Jade, but she's still learning herself. Like, so it's not like a situation where this group of talent that got released is like, oh yeah, we really need you, or you go straight to AEW. Because even to an extent with Braun Strowman, I think kind of burned his bridge with AEW. So I don't think that's you know what I mean? So he's not really wrong when it comes to that. And I think he said it more in a way of like motivating them. Like if you put in the work and you go to the indies and you get your bookings, you show up and you do the work, then good things are gonna happen for you. I think that's more of his message.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. Definitely agree. MITB says, I humbly agree with Mr. William. And Chuck Berry says, what's wrong with holding your brand or company to a higher standard? Mm-hmm. Nothing at all, in my opinion. I'm with Will on this one. I think we all are. Yep. You too, Krissy? I am. I'm
always with Will. So
she's like, that's my boo. So I'm always going to be with him. F4W Online's Brian Alvarez reported that Harley Cameron suffered an injury at AEW Double or Nothing and will be taking time off. Cameron teamed with Anna Jay at the show and to defeat Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. Cameron's facial bleeding during the no DQ match on Wednesday's Dynamite wasn't real and was done to write her off television. The details of the injury are unknown at this time, but we don't know how long she's going to be out of action. We shall see, but I hope she's back soon because Harley is just a net positive. AEW, yes, 100%. We love Harley here.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it's not all good news for everybody in AEW because someone seems a little bit disgruntled or frustrated at the point. In a recent fan exchange on social media on Wednesday, AEW wrestler Deonna Purrazzo commented on if she'd appear on Wednesday's AEW Dynamite. Purrazzo last wrestled on AEW TV on February 26th, losing to Harley Cameron. A fan asked, "Are you pulling up to Dynamite tonight?" And she later replied, "During the picture-in-picture, probably."
Oh,
yeah. From
I'm
what
sorry,
I've heard,
sis. Damn.
Yeah, from what I've heard with Deonna, she's very frustrated with her position right now in AEW, and I think it's for a good reason. They kind of got her. Yeah. She came in a big high-profile feud with Timeless Toni Storm. She had a good feud over the summer last year with Thunder Rosa, and then they really have not committed to giving her anything else after that since then.
No, absolutely. They put her in a tag with
Taya Valkyrie.
Taya, and it's just never. Her run has not been that good since she's got there. So it's fair to be frustrated and annoyed and not happy. I know you would probably be feeling the same way if you went to the other people. I'm just telling you.
What do you think, Josh?
I mean, in regards to her position, I can't really blame how she feels. It's just, because of everything that's going on. Unfortunately, usually when they put focus on others and, they're doing what they're doing, some others suffer from that. And I think that's what's going on with her right now. So, I mean, it's unfortunate. So, I mean, hopefully, they figure things out. But, yeah, I mean, her gripe is legit.
Cops coming for you. The WWE level.
Yeah, and I was thinking nice. I was thinking nice things about her. They probably know about Zelina.
Yep, the Zelina lovers coming for you, bro. Chase says,
I don't give a fuck.
Chase says, I'm gonna be honest, Deonna not putting in the same effort than what she did when she was in Impact. She's also not being given the same opportunity. I think it goes hand in hand. I think that it's a little bit of both. I don't think that the effort has been there on her end, but I don't think the effort has been there on the booking end from Tony. He hasn't really got enough. She got a couple of weeks of vignettes for the Vendetta with Taya Valkyrie, and then they basically completely dropped it after a few weeks. So,
because at least it was something that they were doing, but hey.
We shall see. And yeah, Frantic World, she's in the ROH Women's Pure Title Tournament. But man, the Pure Title, I could say all the things I said about AEW Women's Tag Team titles. There should not be a third women's title in Ring of Honor. You don't even have a Ring of Honor Women's Division to do 3 different titles. This is stupid. But speaking of Ring of Honor, the show this week featured Rhino and Hologram beating the Frat House in the main event. La Cantalina defeated Trish Adora in a decent opener. You also had matches from Action Dean 2, which took place in Glendale, Arizona. Lee Moriarty retained the ROH Pure Championship over Matt Mako in a very good matchup, while Team Blue Panther picked up the win over Team Aveno in a great serpentical eight-man tag team elimination matchup with Panther and Hologram as the sole survivors. But that is all from the Converse this week. Let's move on over to WWE finally, as last Saturday was Saturday night's main event. We all loved it, like John said earlier, right? Right, guys? No?
I didn't see it.
Maybe Danny.
Saturday night's main event did 1.969 million viewers, so it's the highest viewership for Saturday night's main event since the original return in December. The show featured Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker defeating Sami Zayn and CM Punk in a good tag team opener. Thanks to interference from Bronson Reed. Post-match, Rollins embraced Reed, revealing him as the newest member of his group before Bronson delivered a tsunami to Punk. Damian Priest beat Drew McIntyre in a very good steel cage matchup that really pissed off Jesse the Body Ventura because Damian Priest decided to walk out the steel cage door instead of pinning his opponent. Zelina Vega retained the WWE Women's United States Championship against Chelsea Green, who busted her nose from a 619 from Zelina. John Cena picked up a win over R-Truth with a low blow. Post-match, Cena blasted Truth with the undisputed WWE Championship. Then Cena confronted World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso backstage to tease him losing his title to a YouTuber later in the show. This led to Cena getting involved in the Uso versus Logan Paul World Heavyweight title main event, but the person who made the save was none other than the returning Cody Rhodes, who dispatched of Cena, allowing Jay to defeat Logan to retain his title. And then Cody challenged Cena and Paul to face him and Uso in a tag team matchup at Money in the Bank coming up on June 7th next weekend. Josh, you had a week to think about it. Any thoughts, any quick thoughts on Saturday night's main event before we move on to last night's SmackDown?
No. The show kind of sucked. If it wasn't for that opener, it would have been a complete stinker. That's all I got to say to that.
Goddamn. I don't even know how to respond to that. You give it a thumbs down or a thumbs in the middle on our review? I forget.
I think it was thumbs in the middle.
Yeah,
because if it wasn't for that opener, oh man, that would have been a big thumbs down for me. You know,
this was one of the worst viewing experiences I've had with professional wrestling in a while.
This could have been an email.
I mean, it's basically an ad for WWE.
And I heard it was mad ads. I heard it was a bunch of commercials. It was just like nonstop foolishness.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fast thing, goddamn. But I mean, am I wrong for that? And honestly, I could be a lot harsh if I really wanted to. But I'm being very tame.
I just want to give credit where credit is due. I asked for Bronson Reed, and Bronson Reed was returned back to us. He's just in a different faction of a group. I said he could have had JC Mateo's position, but they put him in the Men in Black's position. So, different quarters and different positions for different people.
I mean, to be fair, Resurgence, that was a production issue. This one was just fucking. They didn't know how to pace this goddamn show. None of the matches are great. None of the matches are all my matches of the week. And you know me, with the week that we had, I have like 15 matches in my matches of the week. And Saturday night's main event didn't even sniff the honorable mentions this week. So that's how
it was ass crack, boring foolishness.
SmackDown last night, the show featured the return of Bianca Belair to the brand in her hometown of Knoxville, Tennessee, until she was interrupted by Naomi, who revealed that she broke into Bianca's parents' house and looked through her photo album. After Bianca warned her to stay away from her family, Naomi cried real tears and then switched like that to a fucking menace and threatened to put Bianca in a wheelchair like her mama. Yo, she is a menace. I love Naomi.
I love the character. She's great work.
I don't care what anybody says. Yep. The best character in WWE's women's division right now is Naomi. She ain't the best in the ring, but she the best character right now. After that face-to-face encounter, this led to Jade Cargill coming out and brawling with Naomi before their matchup. She had a quick stare down with Bianca as well. After Naomi went on to defeat Cargill and Nia Jax to qualify for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. I totally agree there. Speaking of Money in the Bank, Andrade beat Carmelo Hayes and Jacob Fatu in a great triple threat matchup to qualify for the men's Money in the Bank after interference from dumbass Solo Sikoa, JC Mateo, and Jimmy Uso. That came off the heels of earlier in the show where JC Mateo picked up another win over R-Truth. Post-match, Mateo and Solo jumped Truth until Jimmy Uso made the save. After Solo distracted his brother trying to align with him, Mateo attacked him from behind, which led to Jimmy getting involved later in the show. The Wyatt Six were on their shit again after the Street Profits came out to address the return of the Wyatt Six, but were interrupted by Fraxium, Motor City Machine Guns, and DIY before the Wyatt Six came down and laid waste to all the tag teams again this week. NXT's...
I'm sorry. Never mind.
NXT's Javon Evans made his main roster debut, teaming with Rey Fenix in a loss to Los Garza in a very good tag team matchup after interference from NXT North American champion Ethan Page to preview Worlds Collide. And Cody Rhodes had a surprise in the form of introducing World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso, but was then interrupted by undisputed WWE Champion John Cena, who had a surprise of his own in the form of his Money in the Bank tag team partner Logan Paul. After an exchange of words and Cody saying Logan was going to polish Cena's Peacemaker, all four men had a brawl to close the broadcast, with Cody and Jay standing tall, holding the two top titles in the company. Any thoughts on last night's Friday Night SmackDown? What stood out the most for you, Krissy Luv?
That we're trying to rebuild and give the Wyatt Six another run. That's probably not going to go anywhere. But hey, whatever.
You don't fucks with the Wyatt Six. You was okay with it last week because it was Bray's birthday, but once it's not Bray's birthday, you're like, y'all can go.
Yeah, I mean, because I know we're not really going to do anything with these guys, and it's a group of talented people, and I just don't believe in the run for it's WWE's fault because they have no credible like backing or standing to say, you know what, we believe in these guys, we're going to give them a decent run. No, I don't know. I need Uncle Howdy to take the stupid mask and fake hair off too. It's dumb. I'm sorry. It's over.
Damn. But what did you like from last night's show?
Oh, okay. So what I liked I liked the match between Jade, Naomi, and Nia. I think the other triple threat match with Andrade, I didn't think Andrade would win, but I guess they gotta give him something, right? So they put him in that match. Yeah, that's what I like. The promo exchange was cool and all, but do we really want to see Logan Paul and John Cena? And I guess Logan is going to do most of the work for John Cena, which is fair. That's fine, no problem, because John can't go that long. But I really don't give a shit about this match. I'm sorry.
This is fair. A lot of love for Naomi. Yo, the Naomi promo was the best part of the show for me.
It was
Naomi promo at the start.
And like you said, she had legit real tears. Like I was like, oh, this girl is cooking. Now we got to get her better in the ring because I know she can go. But I guess it's maybe the people that she's with. I don't know. But I just know that her character work and this evolution and this evolvement is so good. Like every outfit is different. It's crazy. It's psycho. It's deranged. I love it.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll put your mama and you in a fucking wheelchair.
I was like, God damn, you broke into her house, you a stalker, you crazy. Oh my God. The crying into putting her head down and then coming up with the evil grin. I was like, oh my God.
It's like the deranged, like crazy look, like she's like the crazy stalker girlfriend. Like, okay, you don't want me, no problem. I'll just kill you instead. So yeah.
My tweet praising that got like 40,000 views on it already. Like I just loved it. I loved it so much. Dion Jenkins, thank you so much for the super chat donation. One of our good brothers in the chat, always helping us out here. He says it feels like WWE never got hot this year. I think they've had some hot moments, but they're still hot in regards to their business and selling out shows and making money, and the viewership.
But that's it.
The TV ratings is somewhat down year over year, but they're still riding high and they're still hot in regards to their business. It's just the quality and the creative and the storytelling. It feels like we keep getting these sparks, and there's light at the end of the tunnel on a lot of it. They're doing a masterful job of signing folks like Mariah May, and over the past year, Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, Jordynne Grace, the Motor City Machine Guns, Jacob Fatu, Ricky Saints, Malachi Black, Rusev. Like, they've done well with replenishing their roster and adding depth to their roster. Their business is doing great as far as the quality and the storytelling, the booking. Yeah, they just hit these little sparks like John Cena's heel turn, but then that's kind of faltered. Jey Uso winning the Money in the Bank, winning a Royal Rumble, and then that didn't really materialize in a lot of people the way they thought it would, but they just can't keep the momentum when it comes to the quality of the shows, and the fact that SmackDown going to continue to be 3 hours. It's been decent the last couple of weeks at the very least, but
so we're really continuing the 3 hour foolishness.
They're at least staying 3 hours through June. That's
through June. Okay, so we got one more month for foolishness.
Oh, no. There's no end in sight. That's the key to the report. Yeah, there's no end in sight.
This is terrible. Oh my God. Like, that 3 hours is like a struggle, son. I'd be like, all right, background noise. I'll watch a movie, They're lucky a game wasn't on yesterday.
Josh, what did you think about SmackDown last night?
SmackDown was SmackDown. I did like the promo segment with Naomi. That was like probably my favorite part of the show. And Cody, as big of a fan I am with Cody, he needs to let this soul shit go. Like,
the who?
The soul thing, like about, hey, I want your soul. He needs to let it the fuck go. Why? Because fucking Dwayne let it go. He hasn't been fucking seen. Cena let it fucking go. He hasn't even spoken about it.
Does anybody watch this podcast?
Like, let it go. Like, let it go. Like, come on, Cody. What are we doing, Cody?
That's my thoughts on it.
Like, what are we doing, Cody? Like, come on. This ain't like, bro. Like, you trying to save it. There's no saving it. Like, stop this shit. Like, stop.
Yeah, we need that disclaimer for Josh and Krissy on the flagship. That would be we'd be very thankful for that. Thank you, guys. Thank you. We got Bar Drive Finisher. He says the tag team division is hot. You mean all 4 teams in the ring now of us are invested. None of us are invested in. I like the 4 teams that were in the ring. I don't know what the Wyatt 6 involvement in the tag team division is going to do to the quality of the tag team division. I like the Wyatt 6
from that group.
I like the Wyatt 6, but it's like we were on a different trajectory of serious tag teams having banger matches in the tag team division, and now the Wyatt 6 being involved, it brings a little bit more creativity, I guess, and character work to it. But is that what this tag team division needed? I don't know.
No.
And then they took out the whole division anyway.
Yeah. This is all true. We got another super chat donation here from Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says, well, one good thing about SmackDown last night is that there were no suffered broken noses from a botched 619. Huh, Josh? LOL. SB3, who deserved hate the most, Zoe or Zelina? If I had to pick between my 2 co-hosts' arch nemesis, I would definitely go with Zelina Vega because she decided to block me. I tell you, act surprised every week. I tell you this, Krissy. I've said this multiple times. Zelina Vega blocked me on Twitter.
Is this what we're doing? Huh? Is this what we're doing? We're giving consolation prizes for not botching now? This is what we're doing?
I mean, I think that it's time to take the belt off Zelina. No one gives a shit about her run. No one pops when she comes out. I'm sorry to say, but it's cool and it's over.
Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry, because what you're saying is facts.
Okay.
What you're saying is facts. I've been over this shit. I've been over it with her.
Okay.
Like, she's not good. She's not good. And I'm sorry to say that. Yes, she's Puerto Rican. I get it. I'm half Puerto Rican. But I don't give a shit about that. She's not good.
All right.
I think they played for Zoe a little bit more than mine for Zoe. Probably not. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Okay.
I'm just gonna say this one thing, Krissy. To back up Josh. I think that Zelina, there is a place for her. There is a role that she could play. She was great as a manager to Andrade. She's a really good talker. She's got a unique look. But also, I do have to agree with Josh. She's not that good in the ring. She's just not. She's never been a good in-ring worker. TNA in 2010 didn't see shit in her, and that's why she got let go from the company. If TNA in 2010 didn't see shit in you, and it's been 10 years and you haven't improved, I'm okay with you. I'm okay with you blocking me.
I think that they've done Zelina dirty for so long. This was kind of like the consolation prize of like shutting her up probably, and then brought her man back. But with that being said, it's she's gotten her 2-month run. It's time for it to be over now and give it to another girl. We need probably a heel that can have that. It was great on what's the name? But they took it off her. I think they took it off her too late. I mean, too fast. Chelsea, excuse me. That's Chelsea. Yeah, they didn't even.
I agree with Davion in the chat. Julia should be the next champion.
Okay, that's fair. I'm fine with that too.
Yes, ASAP.
And we need to take it off the other girl too.
Like yesterday.
Yeah, let's get it off her too now. Yeah, get the IC title.
Well, I think Becky's gonna win that Money in the Bank.
Okay, well.
But the IC title's in good shape. The Lyra and Becky thing is actually getting the title over. The US title is definitely below the IC title at this point.
True. That's very, very true. But I just think that the trajectory of all of these girls that you've like invested time with and money in, we've kind of got to okay, give this girl 2 months. Okay, give this next girl 2 months. Let some of these girls cook and give them a chance to show something, and you see how the crowd receive them. Zelina's not really receiving anything, and I think it's time. And no one pops when she comes out. It happened on Saturday Night's main event. Nothing. Every week on SmackDown. Nothing. Okay, we've done it, girl. Thank you for your services. Go next, back to the line. Let's go to the next girl.
Yeah, and I think
Michin could have had a run. You didn't do that yet. Just saying.
Right, and in regards to where I'm coming from, right? I know a lot of people think it's hate. I don't think it's not even really hate.
It's not hate.
You know what it is. You know what it is. I think I get tired of fans where they try to say, hey, give them some time, give them a chance, right? She's been in the business for how long already, and she hasn't been good. I'm tired of giving chances. If you if this is the level of wrestling that you're giving, and it's been dog shit, then it's you're gonna get this response from me. I'm sorry, it's not good. And I think people just need to be honest. If somebody has been in the business for 10 years and they haven't been good, they're not progressing, it's okay to say it.
I think you're lying because you're not sorry.
I mean, I'm not really sorry, but you know what I mean.
We got a super chat donation from Dion Jenkins. Thank you so much, Dion, for the support. Once again, you guys have killed it today. We appreciate all the love in the chat. Dion says Wyatt 6 should be on Raw going after New Day, because that would have made sense. Them going into the SmackDown Tag Team division makes no sense. You just added the Fraxium. Why the fuck did you need to add another tag team to the mix?
But also, Fraxium has been called up completely, correct? Or are they still on
they've been after WrestleMania.
Yeah. They're there.
Yeah, I know that they've been on there since after WrestleMania, but
and their entrance song is ass too. So yes, but they've been there.
I think for the Wyatt 6, if this is a group that's supposed to cause havoc, it should be on both brands, causing fucking havoc. If that's what we're supposed if this is a group of people that We don't know what the hell they're doing, and to get like underneath the general manager's skin and to cause havoc and fuck shit up, that's what would be more believable. Them doing this bullshit in this tag division on SmackDown is not believable. But if you go back and forth, even go on NXT and cause fucking havoc, go on all three brands and prove why you're supposed to be like this dangerous, crazy, psychotic group of people. Let Nikki Cross go crazy against a girl in NXT. Let it go let these people go against people that are believable, that we can think that they are winners.
Yeah, I don't think it would happen on NXT just because they got Team Deal there. So,
Okay,
but
fine.
I do agree. I do agree that they do like both brands. I wouldn't mind that just because
that would make it more interesting for their story. Other than that, this is not interesting. Them messing up this group of people. Okay, yeah.
I mean,
but like, what are the people you're going to use against this tag division?
Yeah, but not only interesting, but it gives them something to do because they weren't, again,
they're not doing anything, but it will give them some type of work to do.
Yeah.
Go on back and forth for each brand, cause havoc, be in there hiding, like just sit there and just like fuck up R-Truth. I don't know.
I mean, Cena ain't doing that, so I don't think R-Truth getting touched by the Y6.
We're gonna call them some other name, but it will be entertaining.
No, I know what you mean.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
no, I know what you mean.
People to do, like, you know.
No, like I 100% I get what you're saying. I do agree with it. It's just it's one of those things where I said it a while back when it came to the Righteous, like gimmicks like this usually don't like people like it and it gets over with the crowd, but usually business wise they usually just don't really truly bank on it like the way that people would hope.
This is a backup. This is just stupid. This is only like fillers. So it's only just something that there's no backup plan for these guys, especially for a faction of 6 people, 6 talented people at that.
Technically 5.
Okay, 5. Fine, sure. Okay, 5.
But one of the bigger news.
Bo Dallas, fine. Okay.
No. The 6th person is Bray Wyatt. They just don't.
He has the ghost. He has the ghost of Bray Wyatt.
Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. WWE, one of the big news of this week, WWE announced the dates for WWE Saturday Night's main event and the return of WWE Evolve in July on Saturday Night's main event, along with NXT, the Great American Bash. WWE has now confirmed a massive weekend takeover in Atlanta, in Georgia, with 3 events. The State Farm Arena will host Saturday Night's main event on Saturday, July 12th. And followed by WWE Evolve on Sunday, July 13th. Yes, wait for it. Meanwhile, the Great American Bash will also be held in Atlanta at Center Stage Theater on Saturday afternoon before Saturday night's main event. Tickets will go on sale this week, May 28th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And this means that both the Great American Bash and Saturday night's main event will be running up against AEW All In Texas. What a coincidence. Which is also scheduled for Saturday, July 12th on pay-per-view. The NXT show will go head-to-head with it as WWE's ticket website lists a 2:30 p.m. Eastern start time for the show, which suggests the live show will begin at 3 p.m. Eastern as WWE lists start times 30 minutes before showtime. That means that it will go directly head-to-head with All In Texas, which starts at 3 p.m. Eastern on July 12th. So, Krissy, we'll start with you. What do you think about WWE deciding to counter program against AEW All In Texas, coming off the heels of NXT Battleground going head to head with AEW Double or Nothing? I said this on Rated Raw Review. I even got to say it on Twitter. I said it on Fightful as well. WWE has a head start and they are up by like 50 laps on the second place in Mario Kart. But they're still putting banana peels on the road for the second place because I don't know. You could just worry about your race and you're already winning. But they seem to be very dead set on trying to sabotage and counter program. And the whole issue here is not the counter program. It's the fact that WWE is talking out both sides of their mouth, saying that AEW is not competition, yet treating them like stiffer competition than WCW and Jim Crockett Promotions.
First first of all, you see that they keep putting it against a Saturday night main event on NXT programming. They're not doing it like with Money in the Bank or like these other like shows. They're doing it with like filler shows, if that makes sense. So like you don't even believe you're not even behind your own product because you're not even putting a big product against these guys. You're just like, oh, we'll just do Saturday night's main event against them. Like you're not even you don't even have like you're being such of an asshole. We're just gonna let's just put Saturday night main event. Like I feel like you don't even believe in your own fucking product because you don't even like put in Money in the Bank or like one of the what's the next one after that one? One of the next filler shows or whatever.
Well, Night of Champions is at the end of June. That's like before that one. But after Saturday night's main event, the next big show I think is SummerSlam. So. SummerSlam.
Okay.
But they're not even putting Saturday night's main event against All In. All In will go head to head with NXT Great American Bash. The only people they are really sabotaging and affecting is NXT. NXT, if it was on its own night, it would be viewed like Battleground. Battleground would be viewed as a very fun show that everybody watched live and got to experience and got to talk about, but it got no kind of press like that outside of Trick Williams winning the TNA World title because it went head to head with AEW Double or Nothing. You are sabotaging your youth and your developmental brand against the competition.
Yeah. And that's the sad part about it because the NXT people deserve better than that because they're actually trying to develop and give good shows. And unfortunately, again, like you said, no one got any press but Trick Williams because he won the TNA championship. Jordynne Grace lost, but not much people are talking about that part of the whole deal. Again, everyone else was watching the better pay-per-view, and you're self-sabotaging your brand, your people. Shawn Michaels and them are working hard over there, and you was like, oh no, let's just put them right there. Like, come on, guys. Like, you could have gave them a different weekend. You literally just had a pay-per-view. Why are we doing this one right back again? Like, I guess it's like the 2.5 month thing or whatever. But anywho, like you're only messing up your development, your third brand.
It's insanity. It's insanity to me.
And like you said, you're the only ones that keep saying, "Oh, there's no competition," but yet you keep putting your stuff against the competition. Make it make sense, Paul.
And then the whole thing, I think
part of the ratings for NXT, and what were the ratings for?
Well, they don't really be releasing the viewership on Peacock unless it's like record numbers, basically. Okay. But the craziest part to me personally is that I think part of the reason why All In is starting at 3 p.m. Eastern is because they basically wanted to avoid, because the news had already revealed that Saturday night's main event was going to be on the same day as All In. So I think part of the reason why he made the start time 3 p.m. was to avoid them counter programming him. And then they just said, let's just put NXT in that position then.
And then you're overworking your people because like, why are you doing a 2-night show? Why are we doing a 2-night show? Because again, it's messing up the people. Like, that's a long day for people. Like, it's a lot for people to take in for 2 shows. It's a lot. Like, there's no break. And like you said, from one show to another show. So it's like, if you bought 2 tickets, but now you got to rush over to the next one. Like you're not even thinking, like, you just like, let's just sabotage them. Like, let's just take all the people from them. And you're not even in the same location. Like, one is in Texas, one is in Atlanta. Like, bro, like Paul is again, I know what I'll be watching, I know what I won't be watching. And I'll be out of the country, so now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna watch these things too.
I just don't get it. It's not good for anybody.
It doesn't even look good on them.
The people you're affecting the most is your own product, and your own product, the wrestlers, and the fans, because you're making them choose.
Yes. And why do we have to make them choose? Like, why do we have to do this? If we don't see them as competition, why are we doing this?
Josh, what do you think about the counter programming of NXT against All In?
I mean, in regards to it, I mean, it's not surprising because this is something they've been doing for a while. I think it's more surprising that they're doing it in this fashion, where they're putting out multiple shows. You're running your product thin by doing this. It's pretty exhausting in that regards. But then also, I think, I've been saying it for a while. For me, it's not the counter programming isn't the issue. It's the fact that WWE has tried to little bro AEW every opportunity, PR in every way when they talk down on them. There was even one time where Triple H was like, "Hey, you beat our development brand. Good job." That was his comment to that, right? Good for them. And yet you're still putting that same brand head to head with them. Okay, great job. Great job on that. I think it's, and people, there are some fans who think it's desperation. I don't think it's desperation. I don't think that's the thing. It comes off like it. I don't think it's that. It's just the problem with WWE is they're so far ahead of the game, yet they still feel like they need to be number one. Like they need to have world domination. They're and it comes off like they're trying to ruin the wrestling business, not seeing the bigger picture of the wrestling business, where you guys are number one. You don't need to worry about it because you have so much time ahead of you guys, but you're also worldwide. That's your benefit. But then it's like you're trying to undercut other companies, and you're trying to either buy them or have other companies go out of business. You're trying to be just oh yeah, we're WWE, just by yourselves again. We had that shit for almost how many years before AEW came in? I don't want to see that again. It's not a good thing.
2 decades.
2 decades. So it wasn't a fun thing. It wasn't fun to watch. So when you give people multiple opportunities to watch what they want to watch, I think it's better that way. But it's the fact that, again, I don't like the fact, and I said this, I did a Q&A on Instagram, and somebody did ask me about how do I feel about Evolution coming back. And I said, I was very honest. I said, I don't like the fact that it's coming back based off of counter programming. I don't like the fact that that's the only reason why it's being brought back. I think you're doing a disservice to the women. They
not gonna really do anything to push them after that, or once they do this show.
I don't think you're doing.
To quickly answer this question, it's WWE's strategy. It's not a TKO thing.
Yeah, TKO don't give a shit about this.
This is WWE's MO for years, Chuck.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, what I don't like about it is that, one, you're setting that show up to failure, because if they don't do the numbers that they hope they do, you're giving them a reason of oh yeah, we don't need to do it again. We don't need to do an all women show again, because that's the reason why we haven't seen it in 7 years. Because the first show, although it was a great show to watch, it didn't sell out and it didn't do the numbers they were hoping. They got away from it. So that's why I don't like this. I don't like the fact that they did this. And then the Great American Bash, I mean, that was a clear sign. Once that shit happened, I was like, yeah, the fact that All In had to push up to 3 p.m., which I don't mind, because we were getting All In during the afternoons anyway. So it kind of just seems fitting when it comes to that. But it's the fact that, that this company, again, they're just not being honest about it. And I think that's where I come from more of if you see, you clearly view AEW as a number 2. You clearly treat them like a threat, because the fact that you're doing 3 shows in two nights just to counter program one show, I mean, people are going to defend it. The pro WWE fans have already been defending it. It's just the fact that if you just don't want to listen to what we have to say, that's on you.
And they're just doing this, packing 3 shows, because they're going to do some big stuff on these shows, because they want to take the news cycle away from AEW All In. So I suspect a Mariah May gonna debut probably at Great American Bash. Their Saturday night's main event is gonna have Goldberg's retirement matchup. It's gonna have Cena. It's gonna have Cody. The Evolution show is gonna have some big women returning. I saw.
And it's the same night, right?
No, Evolution is on Sunday. It's on the
Oh, okay.
Sunday, the following night. But Evolution is going to have like your Ronda Rouseys and stuff like that on there. Maybe a Nikki and Brie Bella. They're going to have some women returning, maybe some women debuting. It's going to have some big matches that you're going to want to see. So yeah, they're going to try to steal this news cycle from AEW, and just, yeah, it is WWE attempting to monopolize the pro wrestling industry again, which was never a good thing for the pro wrestling industry as a whole. But that is what WWE is about, them prospering. It's never been about the wrestling industry prospering.
Yeah, you know, it's funny that you bring that up too, is that people, I noticed this with a lot of fan perception too, is that they don't see that. They see like, oh, when WWE does business for other companies is a great thing. I'm like, no, when WWE does business, it's for themselves. Like, and you guys are not fucking seeing that. So when everybody got excited about AAA, I'm like, one, first of all, most of you don't even watch AAA. But then two, it's like you don't see what's going on in front of you. And that's the problem. Because even when I started speaking out about it, about like them acquiring AAA, when I was like, this is not a great thing, somebody was like, oh, why is it not great? And then when I gave them my takes on it, they're like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that stuff. I'm like, yes, because you don't fucking do your fucking research. And that's part of the problem too, is like, you think this is a good thing. Like people think like this partnership with TNA is a great thing. Yeah, like you're having fun, you're watching matches that you thought you'd never see. But on the long run, we see what's going on. WWE is going to end up eventually buying TNA. We don't know how soon or when, but it's going to happen. And that's not a good thing either, because you're also not only.
Remember, we talked about it. We talked about it last year. TNA wanted to sell to AEW, wanted to sell to
Twice.
Twice he
They're
turned it down.
to...
So like they're eventually going to be bought out by WWE. Like this is just how this goes. This is just how it goes.
Yeah, and even with that, you know, you're talking about opportunities that you're losing talent off of that too, because it's like, you know, I saw like earlier in the chat where somebody was like, oh, you know, Santana was more of a fumble than Mariah May. I'm like, Santana's in the spot where he needs to be honest with you.
I think Santana would be. Yeah, he's
Santana betted on himself. He betted on himself. So,
you know, like, you know, and Santana, right? The thing with Santana is that Santana is in the position where he needs to be at. He needs to be in TNA. Why? Because even if he was to go in a perfect world, he goes back to AEW. Guess what? He's not going to be that top guy that people are going to hope for. Correct. That's just what it is. There's so many guys who are just better that they're going to get more attention. So where Santana's at, that's where he needs to be. And that's why TNA is a good spot for a lot of people. Like you're talking about Mustafa Ali, you know, guys like that. Like TNA is a good spot for them because they could be some kind of a face for a company, and they're doing what they want to do. Once you take that away, it's like, oh shit, like now we have even shorter options, because then there's a good chance that AEW doesn't even want you because they have their roster, they're set. You know what I mean? So like that's why it's never a good thing when it comes to that. But overall, I mean, when it comes to all three shows, it is what it is at this point. WWE is going to do what they want. But after seeing those Double or Nothing buy rates, I think AEW is going to be fine. AEW is going to focus on what they do. All AEW has to do and what they've been doing is not respond to WWE. Don't book yourselves into a situation where you feel like you need to, you know, push WWE, because it's not gonna work no matter what. Just do what you're doing. Just keep doing. Just focus on your card, because so far I think, again, the card, I think it's been, you know, some matches I'm like, oh shit, like this is looking not to be a great card. Then they still haven't even announced Kenny Omega versus Okada, and we're still gonna get that.
Right.
So I mean, they're gonna be fine in the long run. It's just funny how, like, this whole thing again, they act like they're acting like AEW is not competition. Actions have been showing otherwise.
Good to see ANJ Network saying long time no speak, but loving this even more than before. Please, please, please keep dropping them truth bombs like lava bricks. Gotta speak the truth. Gotta speak the truth about what's going on, because we all see it. Sometimes you just got to say it. But you talk about some big news. Vince McMahon is back in the news this week, guys, as he's been snitched on. The CNBC reports that John Laurinaitis has been dropped as a defendant from the lawsuit against WWE and Vince McMahon from former WWE staffer Janel Grant. Grant has accused McMahon of sex trafficking, rape, and more. Laurinaitis has agreed to cooperate with Grant's legal team and provide evidence for her case. He also reached a confidential settlement with Grant. A filing in the U.S. District Court, Connecticut, on this week says that both parties agreed to dismiss Laurinaitis from the suit with prejudice, which means that it can't be refiled. Grant previously filed an amended civil complaint against Laurinaitis and McMahon and WWE 3 weeks ago. 411 Mania was also sent the following statement from Vince McMahon's attorney, Jessica Rosenberg, that said, today's dismissal of John Laurinaitis as a defendant doesn't alter the facts of this case in any way. Vince McMahon never mistreated Janel Grant, no matter how many press releases her team issues. The truth remains unchanged. As Mr. Laurinaitis' lawyer previously said, Mr. Laurinaitis corroborates Mr. McMahon in publicly declaring that Miss Grant's allegations of sexual abuse and coercion in her complaint are completely unfounded. Meanwhile, Vince McMahon is starting his own business. A new WrestleNomics reports that Vince McMahon registered a holdings, investment, and a management LLC last year for a company called 14th and I. Where the filing was made in Connecticut back in September 20th, 2024. On August 23rd, Mr. McMahon filed to trademark 14th and I and 14th and I for a private equity fund investment and entertainment production. Former WWE executive Brad Bloom is the president of the new company, and his LinkedIn describes it as 14th and I is a private investment firm focused on the sports, media, and entertainment sectors. We are disciplined and flexible long-term capital and strategic partner, primarily targeting buyouts, majority deals, as well as selective growth-orientated minority investments. We seek to partner with and empower exceptional management teams and provide deep enterprise capability and relationships, as well as to help drive significant long-term value. FIFO notes that the name appears to be a reference to Vince McMahon's father's Capital Wrestling Corporation, which was located on the corner of 14th and I Streets in Washington, D.C. So, Vince McMahon's back running a business, ladies and gentlemen, and it's not WWE. It's not WWE, no matter what Jonathan Coachman puts out there. Mind you, we're not going to talk about that, but Vince McMahon does have a business. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
What makes it funny is that, what makes it funny is that, like, it's one of those things where it's like, what the fuck it is? Like, what is it? Right? Because they're saying, oh, it's entertainment. Is this? And like, what is it? And like, nobody seems to like really know. It sounds, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like that time in the debate where Trump says, I have concepts of a plan. That's how that comes out of that company.
We do have a super chat donation. Thank you so much. Dion Jenkins, once again, who says they really wasted one of John Cena's remaining appearances on a 5-minute Rush promo. This run is a flop. I mean, we've been saying it for weeks that this John Cena run has not transpired the way that it needed to, the way that it's been done. It was botched from the start, but they haven't recovered it quite yet.
Yeah, and it's terrible.
We also got Dion, who asks, who do you think wins Money in the Bank? I hope it isn't Seth. It was announced last night on Friday Night SmackDown. It will be CM Punk versus AJ Styles versus El Grande Americano in the last qualifier for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. I suspect Punk to win that one. So with Punk and Seth probably in the Money in the Bank, I think they cancel each other out. I will say
they're going to focus on each other.
I will say Solo Sikoa.
Bruh.
Yep. I mean, look at the other options. Andrade?
No.
Penta?
I'll turn my TV the fuck off.
Penta, it feels too soon. Penta would be cool if this was a year from now, but Penta seems too soon. LA Knight? Maybe if they finally want to give him the ball to run with, maybe.
I don't understand. Yeah.
It's not gonna be LA Knight for sure. I think people want to say. I think that ship has sailed. I think people need to let it go. It's a dead dream. Like let it go. It's probably gonna be stuff.
You said who?
The most obvious one is Seth.
It's probably gonna be Seth, and it is what it is. You know.
But what are we getting? What are we gaining from him doing this though?
He holds the briefcase hostage again, like he did last time.
No, he's just gonna cash in on Monday Night Raw, the following Monday Night Raw for the.
Oh yeah, it's even better. Yeah,
Jay.
and he gets the belt. Yeah, and he gets the belt. I mean, you know, honestly, it's just, you know, if Seth wins, I'll be less mad about that than fucking Solo. I'll tell you that much.
Solo is hilarious. I don't care what anybody says.
No, I love Solo
he's hilarious.
Right now.
He's hilarious. He's a like he's gone to his own when it comes to character work. It's just him holding the briefcase. I'm just like
right. That's the only thing I'm like.
It's like you know how you get tired. You take that like long, exhausting breath. That's how I feel about that.
In other news, you want to hear some lies? Let's talk about what do you want to talk about? Cody Rhodes' new podcast. In the latest episode, Cody Rhodes suggested that the narrative about him and his wife Brandy leaving All Elite Wrestling back in 2022 was slightly, quote unquote, rewritten. He said, we're not going to get too far into it, but when we left the alternative promotion, we were also slightly rewritten. We were portrayed very Dark Knight-esque. No, believe it all for me. Let the darkness in, just enhances my beauty. I'm the wicked stepmother or something, said Brandy. This is a bunch of bullshit. Cody also said that him and Nick Aldis stole All In. I mean, okay. You guys had the most promotion going in. I don't see how you can steal a show if you were given the biggest push going into the show. I would say if any match stole All In, it was probably Hangman and Joey Janela because people didn't expect much from that one.
Hangman,
but
Joey
that
Janela,
actually was one of the best matches.
Yeah. You know me, like I said before, you know, Cody, this is why he'll be good in politics because he's full of shit sometimes. And this is one thing that he was full of shit in.
I thought this podcast
because even if like they're talking about the AEW stuff, what Cody, I'm like, what Cody doesn't realize too is like, bro, in your documentary, like you basically gave the out of why you left AEW. Like, stop pretending that. I mean, it could be true that they wrote something like a story, like they tried to change their characters, but at the same time, you legit said why you left AEW. You said you had an issue with somebody. You never mentioned who it was, but you said there was a personal issue. So let's stop pretending that is anything else. And then what Brandy said, I mean, I love Brandy, but what the fuck was that? Like, I just didn't understand her part in that. But the podcast was what I expected, is fucking WWE filtered bullshit that I just don't need to get in. Like, I don't need to invest my time.
No, it's a WWE produced podcast. It's not worth anybody's time, but I just thought it was funny to mention here. Thanks, guys.
No, that was, and I'm glad you did because there's people that like me that need to be honest. Like, we need to be honest. Right, I'm one of the biggest Cody fans, but I know like when I see bullshit, I'm gonna call out bullshit.
And this was definitely a bullshit podcast. I watched it and I'm like, you guys are two prudes. Like, you need to do stuff. Like, she's like, I'm in my 40s, so am I. Want to go to Coachella? Get out the house, like, girl. She's like, no, I've been there, done that. You're not even that old, sis. Maybe you've put your body through a lot, but girl, get it together. No wonder y'all look old.
As
a lot of that stuff was the same, was kind of like far-fetched, but okay.
It's revisionist history. revisionist history, it seems like.
Everybody's perspective of how stories go is their way, their interpretation. It's not the truth, but that's their interpretation.
As previously reported, Chelsea Green suffered a broken nose during her matchup against Zelina Vega at Saturday night's main event. Fightful Select has more details on the injury. Green got looked at backstage after the show, and it was a clean break. This isn't the first time she suffered the injury. She likely won't miss any time, and she will require a face mask, as we saw on SmackDown last night. Staff were said to be impressed by how she handled the situation, and she went backstage immediately to film content for WWE and milk the injury on social media. So Chelsea gonna work. She's a worker through and through. I love her. But we got some sad news in the wrestling community as Rick Denninger, the musician best known for the Real American theme used by WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan, has sadly passed away. Per Fightful, Denninger passed away this week. He was 77 years old. Denninger has his hand in various wrestling themes and albums over the years. He also co-wrote the iconic theme for Demolition, and he also produced the wrestling album in 1985 and Power Driver, the wrestling album too. The iconic Real American theme was initially used by WWE tag team the US Express. However, it later was passed to Hulk Hogan after Wyndham and Rotunda left the company, and the theme song then became best associated with Hogan. Denninger also recorded a dozen studio albums as a solo artist and worked with the likes of Cyndi Lauper as well as Weird Al Yankovic for other songs. WWE has also had a statement about his passing, saying that they are saddened to learn that Rick Denninger has passed away, an accomplished musician who landed a top 40 hit in 1973 and also created the Real American entrance theme for Hulk Hogan. WWE extended its condolences to Denninger's family, friends, and fans. On behalf of all of us at Tru Heel Heat, we send our condolences to the family, fans, and friends of Rick Denninger. So,
yep.
Despite who it's associated with, Real American is always going to be an iconic wrestling theme, no matter what.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. It's just unfortunate that a piece of shit like Terrence, he kind of ruined it for me.
Pretty much.
Yeah, Terrence from Florida. It's always going to get that stigma. WWE Raw on Netflix this week. Last week's show did 2.7 million viewers. This week's show features Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. Kicking off the broadcast with Heyman introducing each member of the group and Seth setting its mission statement for power, control, domination, starting with him winning the Money in the Bank ladder match. This led to Rollins defeating Finn Balor and Sami Zayn in a very good main event to qualify for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match after interference from Reed, Breaker, Jey Uso, and Dominic Mysterio. Post-match, CM Punk appeared to surprise attack Rollins with a go to sleep before bailing from the ring to close the program. Penta beat Chad Gable and Dragon Lee in a straight up banger of an opener to qualify for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match due to outside interference from Elio del Vikingo. The New Day defeated the War Raiders and Creed Brothers to retain the World Tag Team Championships. Liv Morgan made her return and caught Dominic Mysterio flirting with Roxanne Perez. This led to a backstage confrontation with Io Sky and Kairi Sane that set up a match for later. Kairi picked up a win over Liv thanks to an argument between Roxanne and Raquel Rodriguez, which caused Morgan to blame Raquel for the loss thanks to an instigating Finn Balor, who is very happy with himself. Finn Balor's been killing it with the facial expressions. He's found his role.
Will they let him win any matches? It's a question. So, you know.
Now, but that 2-14 record he got this year, tell you that much.
Well, you can't win them all. You can't win them all, or you can't win any of them if you're Finn Balor.
I mean, in Finn's case, he ain't winning none of them.
It's some news, as we previously talked about last week. WrestleMania is rumored to be headed back to Las Vegas next year after the news broke that it will no longer be taking place in New Orleans. Fightful Select had details on possible plans for the rumored locations for future WrestleManias. London has been long rumored as a possible location for the show. According to sources, the reason WWE hasn't committed yet is due to site fees. WWE is hoping to get a fee to bring their show to London. This is different from AEW, which usually pays the city and venue to host All In and Forbidden Door. Saudi Arabia has wanted a WrestleMania for years. That is said to not be in the plans anytime soon. A longtime WWE employee suggested that if there is a WrestleMania there, it would be later in the year and it would go by the name of Super WrestleMania, similar to the Greatest Royal Rumble. There are rumors that WWE will try to go to Las Vegas more often for WrestleMania, but many in the company believe this is simply a way to get other cities to bid more money. And the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that WrestleMania next year is most likely in Las Vegas, although WWE has not yet announced that. It is the working idea, and there is another WrestleMania in Las Vegas on the books. So, I hope you like WrestleMania in Las Vegas, guys.
I'll watch it from the comfort of my own home.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was on mute when I said that because what the fuck is like, bro? That is such a fucking Vince McMahon ploy. Super WrestleMania, like, what are we fucking doing? Like,
they don't even know what they're doing. That's the problem.
Oh my God, that sounds like a fucking consolation WrestleMania prize. That don't even sound real. That does not sound real at all. Like,
I just hope that they do something better than this year, because this year was complete dog shit. And we only had a couple of matches for a 2-night show, and we can name on one hand how many matches were good.
Yeah.
Dog shit, time, and money wasted.
Super expensive Mania. That's a better name for it. That's a better name for it. And Call Me Mr. Bonda says, I could be wrong, but I think that Seth Rollins will be the World Heavyweight Champion and hold it until Mania 42, where Braun Breaker takes it after winning the Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber. So,
sir, no.
That's a prediction.
I don't think Braun Breaker should win the Royal Rumble. Absolutely fucking not.
You staying on your hate of Braun Breaker? Come on. Come on now.
He's not even ready for that. No, I don't think so. No.
A new report has an update on Asuka, as she's been off TV for over a year now. Fightful Select reports that while creative plans were discussed for her eventual return in the last few months, said return isn't imminent. Sources indicated that they were surprised that creative plans were being brought up as early as they were. Specifically, it was noted that creative was discussed for her around the start of 2025, despite the fact that it was unrealistic for her to be cleared in time for WrestleMania, which obviously that didn't happen. As of now, Asuka is still sidelined due to her injury. And finally, before we get into the NXT shows from this week, WWE spoiled the results of the AAA Mega Championship matchup, which I believe is tonight, for Rio del Vikingo going up against Alberto El Patron. Tonight. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that WWE only spoiled the match for the U.S. Netflix feed. In Mexico, a different feed aired, which did not include the AAA Mega Championship on the graphic. Of course, it's likely Mexican fans still found out the news because social media exists. And the internet.
Like
in Mexico, revealing a championship result before the match airs is something that all companies have avoided, which is why WWE also did so. The news was covered by Record Esto and Mito Tempo, which are three of the biggest sports news publications in Mexico. Alberto El Patron is not scheduled for Worlds Collide at this time for a good reason. WWE gonna WWE.
Have fun, friends, watching this stuff.
I mean, it was hilarious. It was hilarious when I saw that, yo. I couldn't stop laughing. But people don't feel bad for the guy. I mean, I think it's warranted. But the match itself, I think, is gonna be fun. Vikingo and Chad Gable. they're gonna kill it. So I don't doubt the match quality is gonna be bad. I won't be watching live because I'll be at the convention, but I'll probably catch it later, depending if I hear like good.
That's tonight, you said.
Huh?
Next.
Well, no, the Vikingo versus Alberto El Patron. He's talking about Vikingo versus Chad Gable at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said that match is gonna be fun. Like that match, they're gonna kill it. So like the spoiler, the fact that they posted the spoiler, like I said, it was more funny than anything because they need to stay away from the guy. Like they need to stay from El Patron, and bringing him in would be such a bad, like it just will be such a really ugly look that they really don't need.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see what goes on with this whole thing with AAA, as next week is Worlds Collide. But let's talk about NXT from this week. First, you had NXT Battleground last Sunday. The show featured Trick Williams defeating Joe Hendry in a good main event to win the TNA World Championship, making history in the main event. Stephanie Vaquer beat Jordynne Grace in what I thought was a fabulous encounter between the two ladies, with Stephanie retaining the NXT Women's Championship. Later, Stephanie got into a confrontation with AAA's Dalise and Chick Tormenta to set up a tag team matchup at Worlds Collide, while JC Jane slapped the taste out of Stephanie's mouth to set up a title match on NXT. Sol Ruka defeated Kalani Jordan in a banger of an opener to retain the NXT Women's North American Championship. Josh Briggs, Hank and Tank picked up a win over the Culling. Post-match, the Culling jumped the babyfaces until Inamura made the save, making his return to NXT. Channing Stacks Lorenzo beat Tony D'Angelo thanks to a distraction from Luca Crucifino, while Obafemi retained the NXT Championship over Miles Bourne in a very good encounter, with Miles having the match of his lifetime. WWE NXT, though, was probably the more noteworthy of the two shows from NXT this week. The show did 697,000 viewers and was highlighted by JC Jane pulling off one of the most shocking wins of the year so far, defeating Stephanie Vaquer to capture the NXT Women's Championship thanks to interference from Fallon Henley of Fatal Influence. Ethan Page beat Ricky Saints in a great opener to win the NXT North American Championship. Later in the show, Page had a brief celebration that was interrupted by Javon Evans, who introduced AAA's Laredo Kid, and SmackDown's Rey Fenix, who will challenge All Ego for the title at Worlds Collide. TNA's Mike Santana picked up a win over Tavion Heights of NQCC in a pretty decent bout. Later in the show, new TNA World Champion Trick Williams cut his first promo following his win, which was interrupted by Mike Santana, who had a very good promo exchange here. Santino Marella then announced that Trick would defend the TNA World title against Santana next Tuesday. What do you think, Krissy Luv, about JC Jane winning the NXT Women's Championship and Stephanie Vaquer losing the title in what was a shocker? Did you think that JC Jane was the right choice to dethrone Vaquer?
Probably not. But, I don't know I guess because Stephanie's probably going to be called up. But, she had the title, so she had to drop it. JC Jane, again, they did a lot of stuff like making... what's the name? Lose as well. What's the name? He lost the North American title, which
Ricky.
I thought was Ricky. Yeah, I was like, Ricky lost too. So I'm like, what are we doing here? Sean, what are we doing over there? But I mean, everyone has a reason for their stuff. I guess all these people are going to be called up soon. They had to just give them their NXT run, and then they go back to go to the next level.
Well, to answer your question, yes, that's exactly what's happening. Corey Haynes of PWN and Bodyslam.net reported immediately following NXT that Stephanie Vaquer is expected to get called up to the main roster and heading to Monday Night Raw, while Jordynne Grace is expected to head to Friday Night SmackDown. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Stephanie Vaquer, Ricky Saints, and Jordynne Grace are all expected on the WWE main roster imminently. Stephanie Vaquer has officially joined the Raw roster. It was announced yesterday on social media in a video with GM Adam Pearce announcing that the former NXT double champion has signed with the Raw roster after a lengthy negotiation. Pearce noted that Vaquer will face Liv Morgan and Ivy Now in a women's Money in the Bank ladder match qualifier on Monday's show. Josh, what do you think about Stephanie Vaquer getting called up to the main roster along with Jordynne Grace as well as Ricky Saints?
I mean, it's good for them. I just thought they probably could have done it better. That's just my opinion when it comes to that. Because, like, you know, Stephanie's NXT's title run hasn't been bad. I just thought, I'm like, you're gonna get the title off of her and make her lose in that fashion. I thought it should have mattered more.
And for all people,
you know, like, you're gonna have her lose. She should have had lost at Battleground. Like, if you wanted some buzz, you should have had.
They wanted to call up Jordynne.
Yeah, you know, but I mean, even if you if you put in like a third later, it could have been like a triple threat match or somebody else. Like, if that was your plan, I thought he should have done it like that. Obviously, this was planned for like the arena show, and that didn't happen. So maybe, you know, that plays a part regardless. That does play a part in that. I mean, in regards to Ricky, I mean, I've been saying it. I mean, his NXT run has been like kind of been a snooze fest for me. He didn't do anything that special. And it's just sad because I want to see more from him, and I hope he gets more opportunities, and I hope that the call up does give him that. It was just one of those things where I think the fans kind of, you know, I think kind of ruined that, because a lot of fans weren't like Ricky Starks fans. You know what I mean? Like, they weren't fans of his. They just used the whole, like, oh, TK needs to release him, TK fumble. They just use that as a crutch. And the fact that people remember the chants more than like his actual run, very unfortunate, at least for me. But, you know, hopefully if he gets picked up with SmackDown, he get paired up with Cody, and, you know, they do some things there.
We shall see. We shall see what happens for him. And yeah, I kind of get this comment here, and I also agree with this one. RPGs is saying, had a pay-per-view, why not do the title changes there? I did find that very strange, but then when Jordynne Grace is also called up, I'm like, okay, maybe that makes sense.
So they called up all the big names that they all.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just the timing of it.
They cleared out NXT basically.
Yeah, the timing of it is just weird. Like, obviously, you know, NXT. Like, because we all know, like, NXT is a stepping stone for WWE, right? Like, if you're an NXT, you're eventually going to the main roster. It's just, again, it's one of those things where the timing of it, like, you're losing two of your best women right off the bat. You already lost Julia. So the top three women that are like, oh, shit, like, we got our big three, they're all gone now. They're in the main roster. I just didn't think it would be like this soon.
That was in February. They did that stare down at Vengeance Day, and here we are in May, and they're already called up. Boycott Activision says, I don't understand what qualifies a call up. Trick Williams is getting calls from Hollywood. Why send him to TNA? I feel like Trick Williams kind of got passed over, as well as Ethan Page. Like, unless Ethan's losing the title at Worlds Collide and they just needed a heel to hold the title, like, Ethan Page and Trick Williams deserve to be on the main roster, but we'll have to wait.
Yeah, Trick has been long overdue. It's just with Trick, I do worry about him on the main roster. Well, I mean, I worry about all these people in the main roster. Yeah, I mean, I do, but like in the sense with Trick, it's just like, you know, bro, like, I don't think you're that good in the ring. So you go to the main roster. I don't know. You ain't doing yourself any favors, Chief. Especially at that shitty ass diss track. Never do that shit again, please. Never fucking do that again. Embarrassing.
So they think Ethan Page is not ready for the main roster when they had him on SmackDown.
Well, they gave him a tryout on SmackDown last night. So who knows?
But I'm just saying he got here before Ricky, and What are we doing?
Well, he's one that really betted on himself because Ricky signed a contract that was above the NXT contract. It was more than the NXT contract. It's just the worth. So did Jordynne Grace. So that it makes sense why they had short runs on NXT. I just expected Jordynne to win the NXT Women's Championship
at least once. At least, yeah. Like you had it over there.
Yeah,
they had to bring him a match and just.
Yeah, because when Ethan signed, he signed within the NXT deal. He didn't sign like what?
He didn't sign
like we said. Yeah, so that's part of it because like when it comes to contracts, it depends. Because I did hear from somebody that when they sign, like say like if somebody signs like a main roster kind of contract and they're at NXT, they're called up sooner because of the money that's involved. When somebody in NXT is in NXT, their salary is basically what the NXT starting is. Once they go to the main roster, that's where they get the big pay bump, and that's probably that does play a big part of that.
Okay.
Well, NXT is not just counter-programming All In. They're counter-programming their upcoming residency at the 2300 Arena. WWE NXT will be heading to Philadelphia and the 2300 Arena in August, according to a new report. WrestleVotes reports that the brand will run an episode at the venue on August 19th. WWE previously held an NXT episode on November 6, 2024 at the former ECW Arena. As the account notes, AEW will have a residency at the 2300 Arena that starts on August 27th, so NXT is getting there 1 week ahead of them, and it will run through September 11th. WWE has not yet announced the show, but it will be coming soon. I mean, same shit, different story. We don't need to talk about it. WWE Evolve this week had a historic night of their own as the show featured Callie Armstrong making history by beating Callie Ray, Kendall Gray, and Wendy Chu to become the first ever WWE Evolve Women's Champion. TNT of High Rise defeated Jack Cartwheel and Cappuccino Jones. And the Vanity Project's Jackson Drake picked up a win over Jordan Oasis and Lindsay Dorado to qualify for the WWE Evolve Men's Championship 4-way next week. But that is all for WWE this week. We got to head over to Japan very quickly because it's almost at the end of the Best of Super Juniors tournament. Day 10 was last Sunday. That show featured Hiromu Takahashi defeating Master Wato in a good main event. El Desperado picked up a win over Kevin Knight in a rock-solid affair. You had Mao beat Nick Wayne in a decent bout, while Ninja Mac pulled off an upset over Kosei Fujita. Clark Connors defeated Francisco Akira via disqualification in a pretty good brawl that they had. Day 11 featured Kosei Fujita beating Clark Connors in a solid bout. Francisco Akira defeated Kushida in an entertaining technical wrestling clinic, while Robbie X pulled off probably the upset of the tournament over Hiromu Takahashi in a very good main event, which means that Kosei Fujita won the A block to move on to the finals. Robbie X says since he helped Fujita, he wants the first shot if he wins the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. And then the B block final night was day 12. Mao picked up a win over Sho in a hilarious match that saw Mao run over Sho in House of Torture with a van and a ridiculously sized fist attack as well. Teton beat Nick Wayne in a fun sprint. El Desperado defeated Robbie Eagles in one of the best matches of the tournament, a superb technical wrestling clinic with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion winning. But it was Yo who beat Taiji Ishimori in a rock-solid main event, which means Yo has won the B block and will face Kosei Fujita in the finals tomorrow morning. So my question to you, Josh, we'll start with you. Who wins tomorrow's Best of Super Juniors 32 final, Kosei Fujita or Yo?
That's a good question. I'm going to go with Fujita. Probably going to be wrong, but I'll go with Fujita.
I think Krissy Luv is away right now, but yeah, my pick from the start, if you watch our preview, was Kosei Fujita. I think that Fujita is the one who's like the future of the junior heavyweight division. He's a homegrown talent. He's got all the talent in the world. He's gonna be, if he wins, he's gonna become the youngest Best of Super Juniors winner ever. And he's had so many great matches throughout the tournament. He's really showed that he's ready for this position. So it's got to be Fujita for the win for me.
Yeah, I've been loving the Super Juniors. I felt like this was probably, at least for me, like I started paying attention more to the Super Juniors when it comes to like the tournament. It's been really fun. I like it. Like a lot of guys showed out, a lot of talented individuals. You know, even the AEW stuff, like, you know, Nick Wayne really had some nice performances. Ninja Mac, like, he's made me a fan. I love seeing his stuff.
I think he's been the one who's made the most out of this tournament.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I haven't liked all the booking of the tournament so far. I think that they could have done more to position other people, because Hiromu Takahashi feels like he's gonna get moved up to the heavyweight scene. So I think they could have done more for guys like Francisco Akira and Robbie Eagles and Clark Connors, Master Wato, to kind of put them in a position to fill that void that Hiromu's gonna leave. And El Desperado's worried about doing death matches everywhere, so he's not going to be long for this world either. Taiji Ishimori's been around here for years. I think they could have done more for other guys, but it's got to be Fujita for the win. Krissy, who you got winning tomorrow's Best of Super Juniors 32 final? Kosei Fujita or Yo? Seems like the chat and me and Josh are all going with Fujita.
Fujita it is then, peeps.
Yes, Call Me Mr. Bonda says Japanese young punk Kosei Fujita is winning this one. It seems like we're all on the same page there. But then finally, we got TNA Impact and TNA News. The show featured this week Steve Macklin beating Matt Cardona to retain the TNA International title. The Rascals defeated First Class and Laredo Kid in a three-way to become the number one contenders to face the Nemesis for the TNA World Tag Team Championships at Against All Odds. Lei Ying Lee picked up a win over Ash by Elegance to advance to face Masha Slamovich for the TNA Knockouts World Championship at Against All Odds, while Mustafa Ali beat Raj Singh. Post-match, Ali once again put his hands on Tasha Steelz, furthering her eventual split from the group. And Robert Stone and Victoria Crawford defeated Ariana Grace and Santino Marella. First time a father and daughter teamed up together.
I didn't even know that was his daughter.
Yeah. Oh, you should know. She got the personality.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't know. But now once I saw it and I heard, I was like, that makes perfect sense of why she's over there with him, and she does exactly like she's the absolute same personality. So I understand. I was like,
I'm just glad that she looks nothing like Santino.
Well, that's all that true too, but you know, nevertheless.
TNA is reportedly planning on a couple of big returns at next week's Against All Odds. Both PW Insider and Fightful Select report that the company has plans for 2 stars to return to the company. Fightful wrote an excerpt saying 2 stars are returning to TNA on Friday, June 6th at Against All Odds, live on the TNA Plus app from Mullet Arena in Tempe, Arizona, and both are former multi-time champions. There is no word on who the champions are at this time. And Tessa Blanchard, Krissy Luv's favorite wrestler, suffered an injury at TNA Under Siege. Fightful Select reports that Blanchard did not compete at Saturday's TV taping due to a suspected concussion. She was concussed during her match with Ariana Grace, but she still finished the matchup. Blanchard is set to work that Saturday at the taping, but a storyline was created to get her out of wrestling. So there we go.
Oh yeah, the back and forth she had too was pretty hilarious. I'm really talking about who reported that. Oh, I'm not wrestling. That was fucking. Like, all right, bitch.
Tessa gonna Tessa. But we've made it to Krissy Luv's favorite time of the show, best and worst of the week, moment of the week, and matches of the week. Miss Krissy Luv, who is your best and worst from this week?
Best of the week is Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné.
Okay. Worst?
WWE for Saturday night's main event.
Fair.
And also,
My best
also
of the
putting other shows on the same day as AEW. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's my worst of the week. My worst of the week is WWE counter programming.
Yes, that's it.
And best of the week, AEW and Hangman Adam Page.
Hangman,
Josh?
I like that one.
Best of the week. Best of the week. I'm going with AEW. Great Double or Nothing event, and their trajectory is looking great. Worst of the week. Probably gonna go with Vince McMahon because his own man snitched him out and probably lose the lawsuit.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah. Moment of the week. I just went Anarchy in the Arena.
Yeah.
That's the moment of the week. Krissy?
Anarchy in the Arena.
Josh?
Honorable mention to Tony Storm and Mercedes on their promo.
Fair.
I'm gonna say moment of the week. I'm probably gonna say the opener of Dynamite, just because having all three guys and feeling how important that felt moving forward. Like, these are the three guys that you need in the company to be the face. It's like, you want to talk about pillars? These are the pillars right here that we got.
Yeah. So I have 15 matches this week. I'll go through them fast.
Not 20, but 15.
15. Number 15, Brody versus Alexander from Dynamite. 14, Storm versus Mina from Double or Nothing. 13, Ethan Page and Ricky Saints from NXT. 12, Sol Ruka and Kalani Jordynne from Battleground. 11, Utami Hayashita versus Mirai from Marigold Shine Forever. Number 10, Andrade versus Mello versus Fatu from SmackDown last night. Number 9, Desperado versus Eagles from Best of Super Juniors. Number 8, Penta, Gable, and Lee from Monday Night Raw. Number 7, Ricochet versus Briscoe from Double or Nothing. 6, Okada versus Speedball from Double or Nothing. Number 5, Stephanie Vaquer versus Jordynne Grace from Battleground. Number 4, Miko Ano versus Nai Takahashi's retirement from Marigold Shine Forever. Number 3, Mercedes versus Hayter, Double or Nothing. Number 2, Anarchy in the Arena. Number 1, Hangman Ospreay. Krissy.
Sorry.
You're muted.
I have 10. Here are my 10, no particular order. But the first two are like the main two, so whatever. I guess 10, Carmelo, Jacob Fatu, and Andrade. Naomi versus Jade versus Nia. Number, what am I, 8? 8 is the trios match from Dynamite. Then I have Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet. Then I have Tony versus Mina. I said that right? Okay, thank you. Then I have Speedball versus Takeshna. Then I have Jamie versus Mercedes.
You mean Speedball versus Okada?
That one. Sorry. Forgot the name. That one. Yes, Okada. My bad. Yep. Where am I at? 3? I think I'm at 3. 3. I said Speedball. I said Mercedes and Jamie, right?
Yeah, I think that was 4.
Okay. Anarchy is number 2, and number 1, Ospreay, Hangman.
Josh. Krissy had 10. Go get him, Krissy.
Don't worry, I'm gonna keep it to 3. So number 3, I got the opening match from Double or Nothing. Here in Mercedes, that was a really fun matchup. And the first time, right, the women opened up, right?
Yes.
Right? That was the first time, right? They opened up.
And what a banger.
Number 2, Anarchy of the Arena, in the Arena. And number 1, obviously, Hangman versus Ospreay.
Unanimous, Hangman and Ospreay is the match of the week. And no, I make beats. I got to show love to all the great matches. So no, I will not. I give you the number 1 match of the week, but I have to list all. I have to show love to all these matches. That's my job. But yes, we've made it to the end of another edition of the Flagship Podcast. We want to thank our special guest, Jon Escudero of Dirt Sheet Radio, for joining us today. And thank you to all of you in the chat. You guys have been awesome with the super chats, with all the conversation throughout the podcast this week. We appreciate y'all. As always, Miss Krissy Luv will give you the floor first. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media when they shall see you again.
You will find us back here again. Myself and SP, we did a review of Dark Side of the Ring, episode 9. We did our review of Yellow Jackets, where we hate Shauna. So please go and watch that. We will probably do Dark Side of the Ring, episode 10. When are you thinking?
If you're free tomorrow, I'm down.
What time?
It's up to you. Whatever time is good for you.
Okay, well, I'll check and let you know. Anywho, other than that, you can follow me, Krissy Luv _1, Tru Heel Krissy Luv on X, and then it's just my plain old name. Yep.
Josh, the floor is yours.
You can follow me, JMPunk321, Twitter and Instagram. I won't be on next weekend because I will be at Brooklyn Comic Con. I have a artist feature. I'll be in Artist Alley. So I'm looking forward to that show. That's going to be a fun event. I've been attending since they started, since 2019. So it was always fun to go there, catch up with a lot of people, and then also sell some artwork. So I'll be there. So I'll be back the 14th for the podcast episode.
So join us next week and join us as well on the 14th for Josh's return. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SB3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat. Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best way to support us when we are not live here. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. But of course, as always, we'll be back with more Tru Heel Heat goodness over the next couple of days. You got Monday, our Best of Super Juniors 32 final review. Myself, Jay News, and Sanal will be here to break it all down. You got Rated Raw review, AE Ramble, and yes, we will have previews for WWE AAA Worlds Collide, as well as WWE Money in the Bank over the next week. So join us for that, and we'll have our schedule up on the community tab. But until then, for Josh, for Miss Krissy Luv, for our special guest, Jon Escudero of Dirt Sheet Radio, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat 331, Great American All-In Counter Programming Bash. We are signing off until next time.
Laters.